Welcome back to the Clappy and Frank Show. We're right before Pesach, the top of the hat season. This is when the most hats are going to be sold throughout the entire year.
Is it the most hats?
It's definitely.
The most, okay.
Definitely.
We have with us today a world-famous entrepreneur, Yossi Chayo, who not only launched the Bellissimo hat brand, which has locations, physical locations, and a
he's
big...
only going to be world famous after this podcast. 100%. Just want to make that clear.
He also has a big web presence. People around the world order their hats. I believe that somebody in the Oscars was wearing one of his hats Sunday.
What's the Oscars? Is that
for those that know.
Okay.
And a big web presence. He's also a paramedic, a very active Hatzalah member, being that he works here in Crown Heights, Constiva.
Volunteer ambulance.
Yeah, Hatzalah volunteer ambulance service. He's a paramedic. There's very few paramedics in Hatzalah. He's also a founder of a shul, a popular shul here in Brooklyn. And then he also tells me, when we were waiting to start the recording, he also tells me that he started a yeshiva when he was 16 years old.
What didn't he start?
Yeah.
Yossi, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about your background.
All right. I mean, I'm not so old. I'm a young guy, so I don't know how far back you want me to start. I'll start, I guess, grew up here in Crown Heights. Great parents. Grew up on Brooklyn Avenue, then moved to New York Avenue. Went to Altera growing up. I loved it. It was my playground. Had a great time there in 667 Eastern Parkway. I had a great time. I loved always, the principals. I was a guy that got in trouble, so I sat a lot outside the principal's office, but always had a lot of respect for Rabbi Lustig, and for, my mother was always like, Rabbi Lustig's always right. That's what we were brought up in our house. You would never,
Is it true?
you never had the backing of your parents.
Is it true or no?
Huh?
Is it true that he's always right or no?
I think so. I think people that complain later on, you got to grow up. You know what I mean? You were in elementary school. You were probably wrong.
I went to Altera my whole life. I still believe Rabbi Lustig is an amazing guy.
Yeah, he's an incredible person, and I get to know him a little bit. And I know Shua pretty well. But I got to know Rabbi Lustig Senior, a little bit more as an adult, and you realize, you have respect for these guys. They did the right thing for the most part. And no complaints about that. I went to
where the complaints start?
Huh?
Where do the complaints
Where
start?
do the complaints start?
Yeah.
I don't know. My brothers told me that when you go to Masifta, that's like the DMV of Lubavitch. It's hell on earth, they say the DMV is. So I think that's what Alter Masifta was. I know it's not anymore. It's an amazing place. They have a new building location. They're amazing. But made it halfway through the first year of Alter Masifta, and then I was thrown on the streets. So I remember that walk home. That was very, very hard.
They literally threw you on the street?
Yeah, literally midday, and it was for something stupid. I wasn't like a bad kid.
They push you, kick you? What was the exact motion? How they got you on the street?
The Shalom's office was right by the street and the door, so it wasn't far. It was just like, boom.
He said, leave now, or he just said, don't come?
I guess
what was the experience?
What was the experience of getting kicked out?
Was it a letter, or he told you?
No, and it was also for something like stupid and, something minor, and I guess, and the worst word I heard was, you don't have enough bittul. That was from a 13-year-old, 14-year-old doesn't have enough.
You didn't have enough
I probably
bittul.
didn't have, thank God I didn't have enough because,
Honestly, I'm biased. Rabbi Willem Alvashon was always nice to me, so I loved him.
He was nice to me too, and afterwards he said hi to me on the street, and we always used to, make small talk.
But what did he tell you? He said, don't come back?
No, it wasn't Rabbi Willem that kicked me out. It was a teacher. But it's fine because, we grow up and we realize we flourish because of these guys, But it was a hard walk home from Troy and Montgomery to New York and President Union. And it was the one time my parents actually stuck up for me regarding to school. They called up the teachers, and this teacher didn't like my brother. It was his first year teaching 13 years earlier, my oldest brother. And he told me, I didn't like your brother. I definitely don't like you. That was the day 2 of the school, and I actually thought the teacher
told you that day 2.
Yeah. Day 1, I came home. I told my parents, my teacher's a really cool guy. It looks like he trims his beard. I'm not gonna, he's a really chilled guy. And my parents are like, really, you like him? Good. And then I found out, day 2, okay, maybe he doesn't like me. But that was, it was fun.
He still teaches this guy?
I don't know. Yes and no, and then that, whatever. Who cares? We go past these guys.
He has a journey.
Yeah.
So you were kicked out at 15 years old from the yeshiva system.
14, yeah.
14. So you come home, you finally do the walk of shame, you get home.
I did the walk of shame. I got home. My father picked up the phone. My father's the nicest, sweetest guy in the world, and he never raises his voice. He's, he never slapped us as kids. He would do the pretend.
That's the problem.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. Actually, I could call out my mother here, but we got Petch. Don't worry.
I hear a lot of troubled people in Chabad.
Yeah.
My brother always says the really troubled guys in Chabad are one or two things. Either they didn't get enough Petch or they got too much Petch.
Right.
It's one or the other.
No, I got the right balance. I got Petch. I once got Petch from my second grade teacher who I love. He's an amazing guy. Deserved, well deserved, and then it was okay. I walked home, and that day my father picked up the phone and he cursed the teacher out. Well, there's a curse. It's like, from the Torah itself. It's not that my father knows the whole Torah by heart, and he's a real, tzaddik. So
talking about your father, I heard your father's a guy that sits in the mornings and does Torah and Avodah and Hafatza all day long. It's true?
It is true. My father went on shlichus to Venezuela for, I think, a year or two, and didn't work out with the head shliach over there, but he came back and he wanted to open a grocery store in Albany. I think where Albany Bakery is, somewhere over there. And the Rebbe told him, no, you can't go into business. You have to be a Rav, and you have to wear a kapat every day.
You're saying a story. You jumped in. Sorry.
But yeah, that's about my father. My father wears a kapat every day. He's been doing it since the Rebbe told him.
Manhattan.
And he does. He does shluchas in Manhattan. And Baruch Hashem, no shluchim, feel threatened by him. He's not a guy that knows how to fundraise or collect money. So shluchim send him guys to learn with, and he sits in guys' offices. He, has a conference room where he does mincha, and he has guys come learn with him afterwards. And obviously, a lot of his guys are Persian, and all these Sephardi guys love him. So, but not a businessman. Definitely, we get our business. Our business expertise from my mother. My mother's a hardworking lady. She still works.
I know from all my sisters, she's very popular with doing hair and makeup. They say she's top of the line.
Hair, makeup, shaitels. She's been doing it the longest, now the longest. And she's amazing. People still hire her.
You got kicked out of school. I'm sorry.
We're going to go back to my story.
I got kicked out of school many times. I want to hear his story, please. Clappy, you were
a lot of people...
He was always funny and charming. So
a lot of people could relate. Actually, a week after I was kicked out or something, the teacher used it as like a threatening thing. Like, you guys want to be kicked out of the school like Chayo? And by the end of this year, he's going to be fried as the gullus on drugs or whatever. And, I wasn't a friar kid. My chavrusa that year was Mendel Mintz. He's my classmate. And
legend.
Yeah, Mendel Mintz is awesome. And I don't know if he was the one that told me or whatever, but I got him in trouble for the first time. We were even younger, in like 5th grade. He came to me with $20. He's like, Chayo, we got to start a business. Ben Abu opened this place, Kingston Plaza, for a hot minute. He's like, they're selling candy for 10 cents. Go buy as much as you can.
Second, he came to you and not Shmuley Butler?
Yeah, this is before Butler days. This is
Butler was an afterthought?
Yeah, way after. He came to me $20. I came to his house with bags and bags and bags, and his mother and father were there, and they were like, Mendel, and I think it was the first time he got in trouble. They yelled at him, and I just the look from a frying mince dug a hole into me.
You should have said the proceeds will go to JLI.
Yeah, I didn't even know about JLI. I didn't know who these people, I just knew they were nice people. They always, and he was sent to his room or something. I was very afraid, and they took away the stuff. Or they gave it to me. I don't remember what they did with the candy, but that was that's also part of my entrepreneurship.
You know what I realized? It all comes back to the same people. Mendel Mintz, back,
listen, the doers.
It's a circle. It all goes back to Mendel Mintz.
It's part of the doers.
Mendel Mintz was your chavrusa that year.
Yeah. No, so he was a good friend. I remember we used to go to Farbrengens together.
After you got thrown out?
Before, after, I still stayed involved. I still would come to Farbrengens. I love the Masifta part of it. It was a little crazy. We drunk at 14 years old, and drinking a full bottle of Smirnoff.
Edit that or?
No, it's
why do you have to edit? This is facts. This is what happens, I heard these days they give them grape juice, but thank God. Then I remember, whatever. I don't know if I could say all the stories,
okay.
But,
So you used to come and visit, and then what was your next step?
So my next step is I had a good friend from Lubavitch Shiva, and he convinced me to come to Hamasifta on Ocean Parkway. I think my brother went there for his 3rd year Masifta. Liblach, yeah. And it was... I got there and I felt like, why did I do a downgrade? You know what I mean? Like I love the idea that there was, other stuff besides, I didn't sit in Zal and learn all day. So I love that they had English, and then I was too chassidish for the English. But
how did you know any English? You went to Torah.
I didn't know any. Actually, I'll tell you. So my first week in English, we had to write an essay, and I used all the rules I learned from Rabbi Tachtel in Yiddish, and I applied that to what's it called, the English essay, and I got the highest mark that week. I did I did a thing on lessons in Tanya. I read the first page, and I wrote an essay on Tanya. The guy's like, wow, you wrote something meaningful, and it's not about Batman, you know?
Oh, Terranix, after one day in Wallav Yeshiva, they're ready to top of the class. McKenzie Manin.
After that, I was like, oh, I'm too Hasidish for English, and I started doing Mashiach shirs over there, and I brought Ata. You know what Ata is? Like,
yeah,
because, you know, we're Mendel Mitzvah's friends. I was a big Meshachist, you know? I'm a big Meshachist. What's it called? So I started that over there, and I think Rabbi Liebach would purposely, like, fight me on it. Like, you can't do this stuff here. So I would do it even stronger and, like, make guys take off, like, time from recess and get together. Every night I used to go to Gumbo's and he used to give me all the stuff he had leftovers, and that's what I would serve by the Mashiach share the next day.
They shut down.
They shut down. He'll be back for Hanukkah. Yeah, Itzik Venabu told me he'll be back for Hanukkah for the donuts.
Pop up.
Yeah. So I went to Masifta there, and then after like a year, I was like, "There's got to be something in your team. Why can't you be a Chassidus Bakr and have a fun Masifta or like something that does something?" Like it was either the options were either you're from a Chassidus and locked up, or you're in like Jets or whatever these other places are. Great places, just there's no middle ground. Like you can't be a regular Chassidus Bakr, and I think these days it could be there is something. I don't know. I got out of the yeshiva business.
I don't know, but every time I open up a Jewish magazine, there's 45 new Masiftas.
Yeah.
Do they keep opening and closing, or there's better ones now? Or I don't know.
I don't know, but halfway through my Shir Beis Masifta, I was like, okay, we need a good Masifta. We need somewhere out of town, somewhere affordable. I know my parents couldn't afford any of these out of town Masiftas, 16, 20K. Then I'm one of 9. And Hamasifta Altair was kind of like our budget schools. So I decided to pull together all the guys that wouldn't get accepted or didn't have enough money for real Masifta. And I had a friend, one of the guys that were, I don't know, he's Alta Bacher or some, one of the guys working in the school. His father-in-law is Rabbi Khanov in Jacksonville, Florida. An amazing person. And he said he has a big Chabad house. He's building 2 mikvahs there, but he doesn't have a lot of congregants. So it might be a good idea to open up a Masifta there. He has a huge place. You can find the house for cheap there.
Weather's not bad.
The weather's pretty good. It's it's not as hot as South Florida, but it's nice. And I found a Rosh Hashiva that had a failing yeshiva, and I hired a Rosh Hashiva. And
15 years old, you hired a Rosh Hashiva.
Yeah, I hired a Rosh Hashiva.
And
we made a flyer. It was terrible. It's probably made on paint. We plastered 770 with it. We got 2 signups from that. From parents like, oh, my kid won't get accepted anywhere else, and we put together 15, 20.
In the middle of the year.
Yeah, towards the end of the year. This was
for the next
year. This was for
It
the
was
next
for the
year.
next
It was for the next year. Yeah.
Okay.
So like we're opening, probably advertise this right before the summer, and over the summer. Actually, that's over the summer we put together. We put together 15, 20 guys.
What are the dynamics to be the newest student in the yeshiva and the founder?
It was great.
He never got thrown out. You're the boss.
You're joking, but Hanukkah I got thrown out of my own yeshiva. And you can't make this stuff up. And there, my parents were like, "All right, Yossi, we're not buying this one. Whatever you tell us, I don't know if it's true." This Rosh Hashiva I hired was not the most stable guy at the time. Now he's, we get along. He's a customer of mine, and I love him. His kids come to me, and but I'm not stable. I'm using harsh words.
Steve Jobs got thrown out Apple.
Right. See, you have so much similarities.
Hanukkah, middle of Hanukkah, I got thrown out, and my mother's like, "Okay, your sister's getting engaged anyways. Come back home. We'll figure it out. Maybe yeshiva's not for you. We'll find."
Now you're 16.
I'm 15, 16. I'm 16 years old. Probably 16, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, no. I could get thrown out of other yeshivas. I can't get thrown out of my own yeshiva. I call up Rabbi Khanov. I'm on the phone with him, and he's like, "You're right. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's not taking." The second you left, all of a sudden the kids aren't showing up to Seder. We got shluchim from Altair, by the way. We became official.
Whoa.
Yeah, Altair sent
The
down
yeshiva that
shluchim.
threw him out is now sending him shluchim.
Yeah, a year later,
He's like a head shliach. He's taking the shluchim on the.
and they were my older brother Levi's friends. Who's my partner in the business. We'll get to the business soon, but. They sent the shluchim, and they were like, they got also like thrown out, and they got sent to Rabbi Khanov to work for him because the Rosh Hashiva didn't get along with anybody. So I said, I'm coming back. I'm taking back the yeshiva. So a few days, I think even some of the parents were calling, hearing stories from their kids. Turns out we said, okay, Rabbi Khanov's going to take over the yeshiva. Finances, people were paying monthly, sending $20, $50. The tuition was nothing, close to nothing. I think $5,000, the top paying customer, and Rabbi Kanov took over the yeshiva. He said, I'll pay a salary to this Rosh Yeshiva. We'll give him another trial. And you'll come back. Obviously, you got to be respectful. You'll sleep in my house instead of in the dorm. I came back, and after this trial, he didn't make it, this guy, and he found another job over there. And I feel bad because he lingered around over there. I don't know if it was, good or bad for Rabbi Kanov, but Rabbi Kanov's a tzaddik, and he took over. He started giving the Niglish year. One of his son-in-laws gave Chassidus in the morning, and we ran it literally like the same schedule as all the Terem Sifta, 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock at night, and we helped out with Miftzayim. Shabbos, we would go, he has like 5-6 shluchim under him. We'd go to Chabad of the Beaches, Nachum Krinsky was an amazing shliach over there. I used to spend a lot of Shabbosim there.
I think this Karinsky guy came famous because a guy in his community got the death penalty or something. You remember there was a
he was
massive...
famous then. It was a few years before that.
He tried to make an appeal. It was a whole big thing.
He tried to save his life. This guy became
the governor wouldn't give a clemency.
Right, and unfortunately the guy was killed. But yeah, so we had amazing people around us, and we did a lot of Miftzayim. We were very Miftzayim focused. At that time, I'm like, okay, I'm coming back here once I'm married. I'm becoming a shliach, either here or somewhere nice, I was like, that's it. That's my goal in life. But the next year came, I knew I have to go to a normal zal. I tried signing up to a bunch of zals, and obviously I didn't get accepted again. They're coming from this. Rabbi Kanov really worked hard on making sure all these guys got into zals. He called up certain guys, got into YG, got into good schools, and a lot of guys continued in yeshivas. After that, I didn't get accepted to most zals, even tzvas. Most of my friends were going to tzvas, and they have letters from the Rebbe.
If you have a pulse, you get in.
Yeah, they have letters from the Rebbe saying that you have to accept every student, besides Yossi Chayo, apparently, in the letter. And
P.S.
Yeah, so I half got accepted into Teres Emes because they were in the middle of fighting who's the Rosh Hashiva, and it was Rabbi Sagal's last year there. So he accepted me, and he's like, "Bring the checks to me." And then I show up there, and the Menal Gashmi's like, "Who are you? Where's your checks?" I'm like, "I just gave it to Rabbi Sagal." Like, oh man. My father trained me before I left. I didn't know a word Hebrew. You have to know fluent Hebrew to go to Teres Emes. Either father's Israeli, whatever it is.
Checks.
Huh?
Or have checks.
My father gave me the head checks.
2 sets of checks.
My father gave me the head checks, $500 each. I think it was $500 a month. And he told me, how to say, I understand better than I don't speak in Hebrew. He told me those 5 words. And he made me repeat it again and again and again. And that's all the words I said to them. Al Gashmi, to the Rosh Hashiva, and whatever. I sat there and I stood there like a golem until I picked up Hebrew,
So you picked up Hebrew?
I picked up Hebrew. Tried every shawarma place in the entire Israel. I ended up being a hotel over there because Teres Emes was half empty. I had all the keys to the room, and all my friends from Zas every weekend would come to party. And I hosted them. Okay, you're staying in this room. Don't forget to clean it when you're done. They give me back the key at the end of the weekend. It was the funniest year of my life, best year of my life. And I knew yeshiva was for 2 things: either you're learning or you're having fun. So I really had a lot of fun. I'm almost done my yeshiva career, by the way. This is Shal Afzal. Next year, I went to this friend that convinced me to go to Hamasifta. I listened to him again. I think I was done having fun in Israel. It's a wild year. I went to Miami Zal. And going to Miami Zal, compared to Teres Emes, where you have all the freedom in the world, as long as you're up by Chassidus,
South Beach.
was South Beach. They really
It's a great place to build a yeshiva.
Yeah, great place.
South
They have to put a leash on you because the second you go outside...
You're 8 feet from the beach.
Yeah.
To knock it to Freien.
When did you get your first job?
My first job was I worked in between yeshiva. I always started yeshiva a month late. I went to Rosh Kislev was my first day yeshiva in Teres Emes. Not
You used to work.
not there. So I worked for someone doing eBay and Amazon in their basement packing packages. And then I worked at Sushi Spot for a month or 2. Where I really learned a lot of restaurant skills. Then they were crazy busy. Then they were the busiest.
They're still. You go down during the day, the phone's ringing off the hook.
Still very busy. I'm close with the Jesus over there. I don't know if you guys know that hidden tzaddik that works at Sushi Spot. I love him. You got to get to know him. The guy learns Chayenu cover to cover.
Really?
Yeah.
A guy?
He's not Jewish.
Where's Chayenu?
He learns Chayenu cover to cover.
He wants to be a makatrig on us that we don't.
He doesn't.
He's a
He doesn't want to become a ger. I know he's thinking about it, I know he sits with I heard he sits with
He's
someone.
the Spanish guy that loads the seltzers and the sodas and the metal door. He's always in the
That's
motorcycle.
his brother. Him and his brother look exactly alike.
His brother was not Chayenu?
No.
He's
but
the Farm Alchus guy.
His brother's on this. Yeah. But I know he sits with a bacher and teaches him. So this guy,
Crazy.
you have crazy stuff. Yeah.
How do we get into hats?
How did I get into hats? There's a few steps that I had. So my next year, I was in Miami Zal, and
I like the live edit.
I know, but I gotta keep to what's it called?
I want to tell your story.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
So my
By the way, I wanted 28 episodes, and I want to just tell the whole world is watching now, all our platforms, that we're not 2 polished guys, and we're not going to interrupt, and the guy could talk for 3.5 hours, telling us each day of his life story and dorming and all. No, there has to be, as you all witnesses, there has to be some sort of a live edit where if you want to move on and not be here till 5 in the afternoon.
But
what's
say, let's get to
what's
the
if someone,
Right. No,
what's
I'm
if
just
someone
saying,
doesn't have ADHD? Can they
I get
still
abused.
keep up?
I get abused every Shabbos. I come to shul and
Yeah.
I get a guy screaming at me. You know, the guy was in the middle of answering a question, and that's
He's
what.
about to say the lottery numbers.
Yeah, and him and my wife and I wanted to know that for our business, and then you Frank interrupt. I was like, buddy, that story could have been 4 hours, you know. But go on.
I'll do this. I'll do this
like-
faster because my business life
I
starts
like
right
the
there.
first part where all the school is thrown out because I either got thrown out, almost got thrown out, but my mother used to show up and yell at the school, and they would just say, "Okay, we can't."
Children
have
need
this.
advocates.
Come back in.
You need like
come
public
back.
defenders to keep
My
you in
mother, they would
school.
just wouldn't want to deal with my mother yelling at them, so they just come back in, whatever.
Yeah.
So we're getting to the end of your career.
My end of
in
yeshiva career is about to end. I went to Miami. I wasn't having fun because they control you with a
South
leash. You
Beach,
can't go anywhere. I mean, I'm still getting out, but you get in trouble, this and that. I think by Purim time, and throughout this time, I was very close with my brother. I'm very close with all my brothers. I speak to them every single day.
Every day. Wow.
Yeah, all my brothers. And I'm up late at night, so I speak to my brother in California in the evening hours, usually from 12 to 3.
This is very annoying.
So I was speaking to my brother. My brother was 21 years old, and he went to California. I have my oldest brother living in Redondo Beach, and they were going to open the first kosher restaurant over there. And every day I would speak to my brother about, how he's planning it, and he's fundraising money for it. And
See, they don't tell you that not only shluchim have to fundraise, businessmen have to also fundraise.
yeah,
It's always fundraising going on.
yeah, until
The shluchim don't have to get their money back. The businessmen don't have loans and investments.
yeah. So
Shluchim is much better business. I'm just letting
I was
you know.
very excited. Also, I worked at Sushi Spot for 2 months, and I loved the restaurant business. I love the service business in general. I like making people happy, and like
Retail
both,
hospitality.
yeah, both my bosses, the 2 jobs I had, both tried convincing me not go back to yeshiva and stay working for them. And I was like, no, these guys, I'll work. I'll have my time to work. That young, I still wanted to be in yeshiva. So I was itching to get out and go into the business world. I want to make money. I'm not doing anything here. I knew what it was like to grow up without money. I wanted to have money. I knew I wanted to be a gvir. I don't want to, what's it called?
But Shetelmacher makeup artists don't make money?
They're feeding 9 kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The husband's a shliach doing the Rebbe's work. Someone's got to work.
Okay.
So I knew I wanted to make money. I never got an envelope or whatever for yeshiva or this and that. You had to work. I saved up money to go party in Israel. I had to save up $5-6 grand working in Sushi Spot. This was my life. You hustle, you sell the lovim, you sell the rings on the street. I've done it all. You know what I mean? You sell snacks in school. Always working to make sure I have a couple dollars in my pocket because I didn't want to borrow money. I know you borrowed $5 from a kid. They make you feel like crap. And I don't want that. I want to always have my own money. I always worked hard. So halfway through the year, I went over to Ben Corp and I said, I'm leaving after Perm. I'm going to go to Perm. I drove to Jacksonville from Miami, just got a license, 17. And I wasn't even 18 yet. Or I just turned 18, sorry. And I told him I'm leaving yeshiva. He's like, listen, I don't think it's a good time to leave. I'm like, why not? 5 other guys, they're also leaving after Perm because of you. And it looks bad on the yeshiva. 6 guys should leave yeshiva. But I was like, okay, sorry, not a good enough reason to leave, not to leave. So I left. I went to California to help my brother out. He just opened the restaurant, and
You said Redondo Beach?
near Redondo Beach, it was Torrance. So it was like in between a few Chabad houses. And we realized really quickly over there. I joined him. I was the manager there. I was 18 years old, and I had 8 employees, under me.
18, and you had 8 employees on
8
you.
employees. And, there's a learning curve, and you got to be very careful in California. But one thing we picked up right away, which...
What do you mean by careful in California versus New Mexico?
I'm saying that with your employees, everything's legal. Everyone's on workers' comp. You offend somebody, you're getting sued. So you got to really be professional at a young age. And, there's no,
I think all the billionaires are moving to Florida.
Saying
it's
California's too regulated.
not too regulated. It's whatever it is.
Whatever. It's
whatever
a matziv.
California is. Yeah,
It's a matziv.
but it's a beautiful place. You wake up every day and the weather's the same. It's the nicest place in America to live. And
Unless there's a fire and there's no water in the pumps.
Yeah, there was no fires where
Remember?
we lived or that time. So I was there for 3 years, managing the restaurants. We built it up. My brother started off. He got a bunch of investors. He collected $300,000 to get the doors open. But you realize
Milchik, Fleischik,
it was milchik, like fast casual. We had wood oven pizza, but it was still like more of a casual vibe. So we had to start up,
salad, sushi, pizza.
salad. No, we weren't sushi because we wanted to be like a more of a geisha place. Like you don't put sushi in the shoemaker. Back then in Crown Heights, sushi was popping up everywhere. We're like, we're not doing that. We're staying focused. My brother's always good about staying focused. I'm more of a Crown Heightser. and we realized right away that there's not enough juice to support this business, and we have to go after after the non-juice. And we're in a lot with like 5 other restaurants, and people come for lunch over there, and then they decide whether they want, Subway, if they want this place or that place. We had a kebab place next door, Arab place. And they saw us, what are we, So we had to really become not just a kosher restaurant, because that's not going to sell it.
It had to be a niche.
It had to be a niche, wood-fired oven, pizza. We had nice pastas and what's it called?
And kosher food is more expensive, no?
Kosher food is more expensive, and we had to compete with their pricing. So a lunch special was like $7.99, and everything was made in-house. There's no deliveries of bagels over there. We were making focaccia breads over there for our sandwiches. Everything tasted amazing. And people loved it and whatever, but we were competing with Geisha prices, and our most popular item, that was $7.99 sandwich, was losing us money on every sandwich we sold. And my brother got married, and his wife's like, "Okay, I want to be married to you, not to a restaurant." You know how a restaurant is. It's the worst business. The biggest taiva. Everyone has a taiva to open a restaurant. And,
it's a rich man's toy.
It's a rich man's toy. I don't know why they want it. Everyone wants to have their restaurant where they can have their lunch meeting. But when you actually own one to make a living, it's really hard. You're thinking about it. You're working till Shabbos. You're closing up, open up Mitzvah Shabbos. We do caterings. We do brissim like in the area. You're waking up at 4 a.m. to roll dough and to bake it. And you have to really do everything from scratch over there. So after 3 years, my brother's like, "Okay, I want out. Let's find someone to buy it, at least to cover it. They'll finish paying back the investors, this and that." And we had a lot of people to answer to. A guy gives $25,000. Back then, when you're 21 years old, it's a lot of money. And obviously, you respect everyone's money and all that, but it's these people held us to their, held the gun to it. Like, you got to turn a profit.
You're making focaccia bread at 4 a.m, and they want to know where the profits are.
Right, yeah. And I was getting paid, what was minimum wage over then? $9 an hour.
California could have been $40.
No, it was $9 over there, so it was $2 more than New York. But I was still making $9 an hour, because that's we had to make payroll. Payroll came first before the owner and the managers, the owner's brother. So we sold that. I moved back to New York. My brother.
So it shut down after how many years?
No, we sold it. Someone else took it
sold
over.
it. Okay.
And he thought he was the rich man's dream. He thought he could run it from his office, and eventually he brought in a lot of friends and more investors. I think it closed down after a year.
After a year of him taking it over.
Yeah.
But you guys had it for a few years.
We had it for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, we started from scratch, having no customers to a full busy day with catering and things like that. It was profitable, but like once you make a restaurant profitable, you're like, hey, we had to open 5 of these in order to make a living. So that closed. That we left that, and we felt down about it. The name of the restaurant was called Chayo Eatery. So a lot of pride. Again, we didn't choose that name. It was like the investors
thought it was.
That's why
you made sure the new hat name didn't have your name.
It didn't have our name in it. I came back to New York. I got a regular job. I was putting up. I was doing screens in supermarkets, non-Jewish supermarkets. It was a new company. One of the Gnavishes invested in. My brother's married to Krasiansky, who's a Gnavish. So he moved to Montreal. And he started working for one of their companies. I started working for one of their companies. And we started with 0 stores, and I had to go around.
Putting up advertising screens in supermarkets.
Screens at the checkout. So every person, when they're at checkout, they have to, they're looking at the screen, every single aisle. And now I was going around to stores in Manhattan, and, supermarkets in Manhattan are a real estate game. Every piece of the shelf, they have a dollar amount on there. And these guys are like, you want to move up my checkout counter and stick in there. Had a massive base. It wasn't just like a thin screen, And I convinced.
That's general. You have an idea, and then you think it's genius. Then you're like, oh, ready to go, armed, ready. You show up to the store and like, huh?
Yeah.
We're not ever waiting for you or your idea. Just get ready for that.
Yeah. So we started off with 0 stores in New York. They tested it out in Montreal. It worked in Montreal. There's a lot more space there.
Canadians are a little bit slow. They're easier to get pushed
easier
around.
to push in, yeah. Me, I went to New York and
Moshe, I spoke about the Canadians. Trump told me I should trash Canada a little bit.
Yeah. I got a bunch of stores all over
the
Manhattan.
51st state I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You can go on.
Sorry, no, you guys do your thing. How
do we get to the hats?
How do we get to the hats?
Wait.
I'm
you
working
tried
this.
you tried his entrepreneurial career. You tried to get screens. You started off 0 in New York.
We felt like we had our entrepreneur lifetime, and now we're ready to be an employee and get a salary.
Right.
I got a $40,000 salary, which was great as a buffer.
It's a draw. It's a draw against commission. What was it?
It was, I think, a base plus commission.
Okay.
And the commission only came after we sold ads, so it wasn't even about getting the stores.
$800 a week. Okay.
Yeah, but it was enough. I had enough to. They leased me a car, and I got a fully loaded Nissan Rogue. I was king of the world.
Nissan Rogue. Sign me up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Real Louise has a good deal on the Rogues. Yeah.
I was 20 years old or 21 years old. 21 years old. Not wasn't 20, I think. But it was great. And then they would call me every once in a while. They would pay for my lunch because I would travel, to the Bronx and Manhattan, this and that.
Lease, car, and lunch copy.
They pay for my lunch.
What's not to like?
But they would call me and they say, your lunch is exceeding your salary. And in the meantime, I got my PhD in takeout. So I went to every single kosher restaurant in the tri-state area, try every single place. And my lunch was the best part of my day. And I got comfortable eating by myself if I was in the middle of nowhere. But I would try to meet someone, take friends with me to work. They weren't working. They just, out of yeshiva. So guys would come with me to work, and then they would just come for lunch, free lunch, So half my day was lunch, but
So how many screens did you get in the supermarkets?
I got I think 27 stores, and big stores, not
Chain
small
stores.
guys. Yeah, the stores had to be in a higher medium income. There was rules to it, these ads have to sell. Whatever. The company they hired they went too big too fast. They hired a CFO from Disney and the former CFO of Disney, and they hired big CEOs and this and that. The company closed down. They invested a lot of money. They lost a lot of money in that. So I was out of a job.
You're out of lunch.
I was out of lunch, but thank God, as I saw that was dwindling down, my brother calls me.
Started having 2 lunches every day.
Yeah. As that was dying down, thank God my brother calls me, and it was hard.
I just want to say,
yeah.
It sounds like they raised a lot of money, did fancy stuff.
Yeah.
In general, people who get free money, nothing has to make sense because it's like you're drugged with money. You could be drugged with drugs.
It's
you can
more
be drugged with money, and nothing has to make sense.
It sounds like the trick is to get into these companies at a high salary for a year or two and ride it and go into the next one.
Also, lesson to yourself. If you want to build something, we want to test to make sure it works. You just do very scrappy. They say all the big companies started in garages. There's a reason. These big fancy companies, because
I never got out of the garage. I don't know.
Yeah.
Since the garage mentality, they're very nimble and everything has to make sense. So if something doesn't sell, they just close it down. But when you're doing big slideshows and presentations and
they're selling a dream.
CFO investor, CFO Disney, just know where your money's going.
Yeah,
triple
well,
lunches.
they're selling dreams, and until you don't have to prove that you can make income until to make profit or anything. So my brother calls me and tells me, Yossi, I have a business idea. And this is after working with him neck to neck in a restaurant with a hot oven.
Here we go again.
And I'm like, Levi, leave me alone. I'm like, we almost, I'm like, I don't think we should get back into business. It was hard enough doing a restaurant with your brother, working every day, working hard hours. Who's working harder? I said, he's like, yeah, but now we're in different countries. You're in America, I'm in Canada. I have this side hustle. If we sell, I found this factory. He was upset. He bought his last hat and it was garbage, and he paid $450. This is 10 years ago, almost 9 years ago, and it looked like crap the day later. And he's like, they threw it on your head, and this is the hat for you, and you were out the door. He's like, I found this factory in Montreal. Hats, we can get it for $100. People are buying them.
Wasn't it like $20, $30?
$100.
I thought everyone to Montreal to get the $30, $40 hat. Not the same place.
Maybe I don't know how old you are, but this is 10 years ago. I think we can, maybe even make it a little bit. It doesn't look like a perfect Lubavitch hat. It's close enough. It works for $100. Everyone's like, oh, why would you not think about it? You sell it for $185. We have a business. You can sell it out of the basement. I just started my shul in Crown Heights. We had a lot of guys my age didn't make it through the whole system. A lot of guys in my grade, they started working young. A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of hustlers, and we started a shul, the youngest class shul.
The Mitzvah Center.
The Mitzvah Center.
A lot of mitzvahs going on there.
A lot of mitzvahs. We started on Union and Utica, Farkakta basement. A guy I knew, his brother-in-law, a friend of mine, his brother-in-law just bought a house there. He's turning it over, and he has a basement. The basement looked like the worst dungeon in the world. Me and my friends, we got together. We got one handyman, and we started demoing it. And in the meantime, his house was empty upstairs.
How do we get to the hats?
Huh?
This is the hat.
This is the shul. You don't want to talk about the shul?
No, you want to talk about the hats.
Okay. All right. I'll stick to the hats.
Either you're getting thrown out of school or a hat.
Okay.
The shul is whatever. Shul's nice.
Listen, all right. Well, the shul's beautiful. But we'll get to that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, we don't have to. We'll get back to
60 seconds.
60 seconds about the
They
shul.
fixed up the basement in
We
Utica.
fixed up the basement in Utica and Union. Everyone's like, it's too far. No one's going to come there.
The bottom line is, the place that started in the basement in Utica, the shul still exists.
No,
The
now it's in a
fancy
gorgeous
CFO from
location
Disney,
with glass walls.
I just want to say a little point here.
Yeah.
The place that started in the dingy basement in Utica still exists.
Right.
The fancy companies
Exactly.
with the CFOs and Redondo
That's
Beach,
true.
they're all
Very
shut
true.
down.
Very
Yeah.
true.
No investors, no.
Exactly.
So start from the
So
basement.
my brother calls me and says,
Can we say start from the basement? Is that the lesson?
we started from the
Basement
back of the
Is
car.
that the lesson
basement.
to start from the basement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Start from the
They go
basement.
Yeah.
my brother tells me if we sell X amount of hats, we could both walk away with 40 grand this year extra. So we still have our jobs and whatever, but we need the extra money if you want to survive in Crown Heights. You need to have multiple income.
You didn't have a job.
So the job was still going on, and whatever, I could get to the next job. It wasn't about going into business full time with this.
Okay.
It was about being a side hustle.
Hat side hustle.
Hat
That
side
actually
hustle.
Makes money.
There was one place selling in Crown Heights, and then he stopped selling Borsellino. So there was an opening for a hat company here.
And you were well priced.
And we were well priced, and there was enough margins. We weren't being chazerim, and we're not going to invest. No investors. That was the number one thing. My brother's like, no investors. You have $1,000 in your account? I was like, I'll have next week. You have $1,000 in your account? He'll get it.
And shipping, you had to pay tariffs those days? What was the story with shipping?
No, there's free trade from Canada.
Okay, so you don't have to pay no tariffs.
NAFTA. You can put a trade into the back of the trunk.
Yeah, so that's how we were doing the first 2 years of business,
So why do they ask when you come through the border? How much
I don't know.
money do you
What-
buy?
Yeah, I always tell them I have hats. It's like, okay, you have pants too, right? So what are you telling me about your hats for when I drive through the border with 50
So you don't
hats?
have to pay tariffs? You do.
No
Why
tariffs.
So why do they ask?
To know what's going on.
Certain things are free trade. You don't have to, what's it called? Why do they ask? Because they want you import and export.
Drugs.
certain things.
They don't want drugs. Chris.
Yeah. So
All right,
my
see-
brother tells me there's no investors, there's no fundraise, there's no debt. We're doing this, we're doing this scot free. If you put in $1,000, we'll have enough for 10 hats. We'll design our own hats. We're gonna make it look a little better. We know how Lubavitch hat should look. So I told him, listen, I don't know about this. He's like, you're coming for the bris. My brother is making a bris next week. That's why he went and bought a hat. He's like, you're coming for the bris. Come see this factory. It's pretty cool. It's 100 years old, and they're pumping out nothing to do with Jewish hats, and people go there and pick up their $100 hats. And he's like, and we're not going to stop that. People that need a cheap hat, let them go to this factory. He wants to sell them a hat, whether it looks like a normal hat or not. They'll buy it.
Oh, so you made your own line within the line.
So we made our own line. We had to come up with
Designs.
So how did we come up with the name Bellissimo? We started looking into.
Because it sounds like Borsellino. I realized.
No, it doesn't.
So
Bellissimo?
no, Bellissimo.
Hey,
Bellissimo.
Borsellino is a place, but
The B and the
Bellissimo
O?
is
Hold on, beef.
Bellissimo is the most popular word in Italy. You go get a coffee, they tell you it's Bellissimo. Everything's Bellissimo.
What does Bellissimo mean?
Bellissimo means beautiful in Italian.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
I thought you were just a knockoff.
no.
okay, I'm just-
And not
I'm
only
happy
that,
we clarified
yeah.
that.
Now that we clarified this, and it's Bellissimo is like the Crown Heights version of the name. It's Bellissimo. That's how you pronounce the name. And we're looking into Italian felt suppliers. We wanted to make the quality better.
Because my young kids, I'm not a big hat wearer Friday
Right.
night. They're like, Borsellino, Bellissimo, which one's which? My 10-year-old son is not sure. So
Right.
it's a good, hey, whatever it means, it's working.
It's working, yeah. But you know what?
The brand confusion
what
is working.
we thought was an easy side hustle was one of the hardest things in the world to do because the brand power of the competition was so strong. And growing up, if you had money or whatever, it was you got either a real hat or you got a fake hat, and that's how it was. It doesn't matter. There was 10 different brands, and they were all the fake hats. None of them looked right. None of them felt right, and going up against this is the hardest thing. So we started looking for better materials, making it better over there. We quickly realized, we started a business. We sold a few hats, and one thing we did differently with this business is that we never push like investors and get investments or make big investments because we knew that that's going to get us back into debt and we don't want to go there. You
had experience from it.
We had experience from the restaurant, so we didn't want to have credit card debt or anything like that.
Buy low, sell high.
Buy low, sell high. That's Zaidi Ganevish's line. He goes, "That's business. You buy low and you sell high, and anything after that is fancy talk." So we go to him for a lot of advice. My brother has great people to go to, his uncles.
This name Ganevish keeps coming up on the show. Wavy Lane was talking about the Ganevishes. Now you're talking about. It's interesting. Go on.
Well, the greatest people in Lubavitch, so it makes sense. Now they help out everybody, and they help a lot of people start up their businesses. They're
Ganevish, I'm coming to Montreal to meet you.
good luck. Yeah.
I mean, my wife's from Montreal, but their summer places, Mamich, their summer compound, shul houses, Mamich, like a community center.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a private family place, but like the shul and it's just
anyone who goes there feels like family.
No idea who these people are. I got to go meet them.
Yeah. If you don't have a bungalow and you go there for a Shabbos, it's like the nicest thing in the world. It's
they learn. It's very impressive.
It's a
it's
beautiful
a very
place.
impressive situation.
I'm waiting for an invite. Go on.
Yeah, you'll get one from this. Someone's gonna reach out to you. You're invited.
It's so unexclusive. You don't need an invite. I'm just letting you know.
Come with me. Come along in the back of the car. You have a place.
That's where the hats are. There's no room all full of hats.
On the way back, we'll have to get your own way back. No, so we realized pretty quickly that. I was working hard. We popped up. Our first pop up was Gimel Tama's tent. 9 years ago on the side of 770, and we only had samples. And I think we sold 2 hats there. We're standing there for hours and hours and hours. Every person came by and hawking us a China. Let me try it on. I think 2 people were like, okay, so you're going to take my measurements and you're going to order me a custom hat. That's how we came up with the name Bellissimo Fine Custom Hats. Because they were custom. We're making them, for the person. And if you want to add a color, we'll add a color. You want to, however big you want the brim.
I remember a guy in my shul said he ordered a hat. He's going to get it in a few weeks.
Exactly. It was crazy. It was like,
And now he has the top celebrities wearing his hats.
we'll get there.
I've been wearing these hats for years.
Yeah.
No, hold on. You're a new minted celebrity. So look,
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we
Floppy
realized
was always a voice. He was a voice celebrity without a face. In the past year, he became a visually recognized top celebrity.
Okay.
All right. People know Floppy. You know where you get your strike game. People know his faces.
But now he's international.
All right. So yeah, we realized pretty
He
quickly
didn't
that
go in?
most people cannot imagine what a hat's supposed to look like. Definitely not on their head, and they want to stand in front of the mirror and they want to try things on. We also realized that Montreal is not the place to make a Lubavitch hat. So in the meantime of this, before our business really blew up in the Jewish world, we would upgrade our locations. So we went from the basement where my shul was. It was all in one closet to fit everything. The whole business fit into a closet. I would unlock the closet during the weekday, and that was my business. And Shabbos, I closed it. That was the shul. So I moved into the back of my newer shul, which was on Troy Avenue. So the location upgraded a little bit, but it was still in the back of a shul, come through an alley by appointment only. I moved into a single room on top of the new flams over there. Then I moved up the block on top of Benny's Pizza, and I got the whole floor. We grew as the business pulled us. And that was like a big thing we learned from the previous business, like don't fall into debt, don't get into,
Naturally expand.
Naturally, yeah, let the business pull you, expand when you need to expand. And every penny went back into the business to expand. During that was COVID, and our Jewish business stopped. I finally had an employee. I had to, tell him we're going to take a break for COVID. He's a young kid, He was like, okay, cool, I'll go home, And we were sitting there like, hey, we got to get a website up. We need to have a website, even if we sell 1 hat. Then we were selling 2 hats a day was a success. We thought it would pay for the rent on the second floor. It pays my employee, and I make a couple bucks just to survive. I was still
And now you're at the store.
not yet.
Oh.
This is COVID. We were still on the second floor over there.
I want to get to the store already.
This is the good part.
Oh.
Yeah. This is where our
Hey,
business.
the high school, for me, that was the best part.
I know. But some of us-
everything from
I
there
love
is
watching.
going down.
I love watching businesses expand because it's happening to me in my life. So I'm enjoying every
You get
second.
through to your own high
So you
school,
find
I'm
out
sorry.
COVID happens, and
Nothing's going to match that story.
Okay.
Okay.
high school.
Sorry.
COVID comes.
So COVID comes, and we realized we have to make a website. We created a basic website, and let's start expanding our colors. Maybe non-Jewish people want to buy hats. Like, we didn't know if there's a business out there. You don't see any people we didn't see many people on the streets of New York wearing hats. But we knew there's people in Atlanta, there's people all over Georgia, there's people all over, Texas. And
Just before we started the show, I was telling Moshe this morning about 8:00 in the morning. I was telling him, when you look at pictures from the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s in America, hundreds of millions of people are wearing
every single
hats.
man wore a hat,
Every
right?
single guy's
every
wearing a
single
hat.
person wore a hat.
So this used to be like $1 trillion industry.
yeah.
Hats
That's why-
that looked like this.
Yeah, these factories
Trillions.
were massive, and there's so.
Why did people lock in with it?
If we could turn the
God.
tide,
History.
Huh?
Why did they suddenly keep the hat?
Well,
and
the
everyone
Rebbe
else-
decided to go with a hat instead of a
Shtreimel.
instead of
Listen to
Shtreimel.
Shtreimel.
Thank God for that, because I get to wear good-looking hats, and the Rebbe wore good-looking hats. Like, whenever, by the way, the picture of the Rebbe I have in my store where when you enter is the Rebbe wearing a nice 2.25-inch brim. I got all the measurements from Levi Grelick. They used to make them custom in Italy for the Rebbe. The Rebbetzin actually chose the brim size, and he says they have a piece of the measuring tape. The Rebbetzin cut how big she wants the Rebbe's brim to be.
whoa, Pearson
So-
Rishon right here on the show. 2.5 inch
I'm
brim.
quoting
2.5
him.
inch?
2.5 inch.
2.25 inch.
2.25 inch brim, Mekusher to the Rebbe,
Yeah.
chocolate schmerling, hat 2/4 inch.
And then, like, you see these fathers yelling at their kids about which brim size they should get, and they have to wear a massive brim because in the 90s,
It's an umbrella. It's just a caramelist.
in the 90s, the Rebbe didn't care about his hat. The Rebbe threw his hat on the second he would get into his office. I'm saying the Rebbe didn't care about his hat. He smashed it and put it on the way you're supposed to wear it, by the way. This whole thing of, like, standing perfectly in a hat is a snogdish thing. And, like, if you do it and you're a Lubavitcher...
what's the history of why from people stayed with hats? And
Why?
everyone else
Because
dropped
we're
it?
into uniform. You didn't saying the
So they
Chassidim are
just
into
locked in.
uniform.
Shulchan
Yeah,
Aruch,
of
you're supposed
course.
to have a second covering. You have to wear a hat.
Yeah,
that
the
out.
A is because you're supposed to have a second covering, and B is because Chassidim like to have uniform. That's how we stay put. It's like, it's part of it. So thank God the Lubavitcher chose a fedora.
So you
'cause it's
decided by
classic.
COVID to open up a storefront. A real
COVID to
storefront.
online.
online.
COVID was online, and someone contacted us, and they
When
said,
did you start jump from custom to not custom?
pretty quickly realized that you didn't need to have stock of hats. They need to
And you
choose one
stand
and
in
walk
front of
out.
the mirror, walk
stand
out.
in front of the
exactly,
mirror.
right.
I would do
cool.
appointment only. I said 3 hours for each appointment.
You know what I noticed by many business clap? They start off either as a discount business, and then they evolve to mainstream. Like my sister has a WhatsApp group, the biggest mothers buying group for like kids' clothing. She started only discount, I'm only putting sales, discount. And then she realized, people just want mainstream curated clothing.
They'll pay the extra
Yeah.
$3 for the stretchy. Big
Exactly.
deal.
Right. So
the
I
same thing
realized
with
that too with the hats
kids,
too.
You start off all cut. You think like you have to be so niche that doesn't exist in the market, and then slowly gravitate
Go back to normal.
mainstream stock inventory. Regular.
Right. So I'll tell you, the real thing was
I
that
also started the travel industry. Only the cheapest flights, cheap. Then you
Yeah.
grab it because you want to almost like validate in your head why you exist.
let me tell you something. Whenever
mainstream.
someone's
self-esteem issue.
most people when they're ready to buy a hat, and it's funny. I actually discussed it with your sister. She brought her kids to buy hats by me, and something I realized, I was like, now I realize it's now in the new store, but all the people a lot of my customers, I have all the rich guys in Crown Heights, all the rich families. They come to me and they buy their hats, and they don't necessarily buy the most expensive one. They buy the standard one. It's a good quality hat, and they're happy with it. And I come here for service, I come here for quality, and I realize I see a lot of people that don't have a penny in their pocket. I stand in the store, I see who walks by me from the competition, and they're walking. They just bought their kid a $600 hat, and I'm like, no, like you didn't pay rent yet. You know what I mean? Like, you just spent a quarter of your rent on a 12-year-old's hat. Like the kid's gonna destroy it regardless in Altera. It's not making it through. It's gonna look the same like every other kid's hat in a week from now. And I'm like, and I realized because it's a stigma we grew up with, we couldn't have this brand, and now we have to get it for our kids, and all these rich people, are buying the Bellissimo, and we were the secondary brand at first, so.
Which celebrities were you at now?
So now it comes to
jump
COVID.
into
That's when we jumped into the celebrities.
There we go.
Okay, someone called us up. They say, "Hey, we found you guys online. We see you're making custom hats. I have a client. He's obsessed with hats, and he would really like one of your styles. I think he would look great in it." And we're like, "Okay, for sure. A customer, when there's no other customers, we'll do it." And my brother went to the factory. He's like, "Okay, what material do you have extra we can use?" He's like, "Here, this color's not selling. Knock yourself out. Go try some ribbons." I cut it with the brim.
Who was a celebrity?
Jamie Foxx. My brother finds out once he designed the hat, and he sends a picture. He loves it. The guy wants you to come deliver it. Mm-hmm. So we find out it's Jamie Foxx. We get an address in California. My brother flew out there with his family. They made a family vacation out of it, and they want to hand deliver it, to Jamie Foxx's house. And it's the middle of the desert in California. It's a massive place. And they pull up there with this whole mishpacha, and this is very professional. You have 3 little kids, three little boys, and you're running around this guy with the biggest pool, and everything. And he's like, he welcomes them in, and he loves the hat. He puts it on. He starts taking videos with it. We didn't know, you go to a celebrity, you take a picture. Like Max, you'll get a picture of him because he's cool. We didn't realize what's going to happen, and he took a video of himself with my brother's phone and talking about the hat. I got Bellissimo hats here, and he's about to go to the fanciest restaurant with his friends with this hat. And in the meantime, my brother takes his phone and he's like, "Oh, can we get a signature on a movie poster?" He's like, "I don't know what you're supposed to do with this celebrity, He's like, "If you want, you could ride my horse." He has a famous movie, Django. He's like, I bought the horse in there. Let your kids ride the horse. Go swimming. They went swimming in his house. They spent the day by him, basically. And they had an amazing time. Whatever. We came back. My brother posted on Instagram. In the meantime, till then, we were like, "Hey, we need to grow our brand. We're going after Benny. We got Benny Friedman. We got Mendy J. We had I don't know, every Jewish singer. We were like Modi and anyone we needed to put on our hats. We thought that's how we're gonna get out there. And the funny thing is, we were growing in the non-Lubavitch world. People from Flatbush and Lakewood were coming because they saw on Instagram we had these different people buying hats from us, and they would show up in this dingy, second floor room. Oh, this is not the fancy place we see on Instagram. So Jamie Foxx was the first one, and that little video that he took of himself brought in at least $2 million in sales online. So
you know what? You work hard. You work hard in business. You do your ishtadlus, and Hashem sends you your keli to make the money in the most crazy way. Jamie Foxx inviting you to his house.
He's an A-list celebrity, A-list actor. He'll always be, and that just led one to another, where other celebrities were reaching out or messaging us. We would message some of them, they would message us, or some they would ignore us until they saw this video of Jamie Foxx. Oh, those guys messaged me. Let me get back to them. We got ignored by tons of celebrities.
Moshe, you see what happens to us. We bring on one cool guest and everybody else is lining up. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's what it does. Listen, so we realized we need to move into a proper store The store, the brand needs to grow. The store needs to, show what the brand is showing on Instagram. And so we got a fancy store, which is a big leap for us.
I always stop by. Whenever I'm in Kahusser and 770, I always stop by to say hello to you or Seth. The store is drop dead gorgeous.
Thank you.
The store, it's not on Park Avenue. It's not on Madison Avenue. It's not on Fifth Avenue. It's nicer than all those stores. The shine, the glamour, the marble, the tiles, the mirrors. You did it. Who designed that store?
It was me and my brother had this idea for the hat store. Like, the nicest store. A store just opened, and it looks like a beautiful hotel. And right before we were planning, right after we took out this lease on this expensive store, which is, you could see 770 from there, Kingston Eastern Parkway.
Right by the train.
And they just opened this beautiful store. So, they came into Crown Heights after. I thought we might not have a business. This big competition's coming. This big brand just opened the store in Crown Heights. I don't know if we should continue. My brother's always the one pushing me through. I'm like, I can't work anymore without a salary. He's like, don't worry. Who cares about a salary? Salaries are, and we had to come up with a new creative idea because piles of hats on beautiful shelves. The other store looks like the nicest hotel. You know what I mean? But they're just piles of hats. I'm like, we work hard on our designs. People are loving our designs all over the world. Come up with crazy colors. We have to put each thing on a pedestal. So that was like the first idea we had. And then we designed that store where, up and down, and every hat kind of has its attention.
What about quality? Where's your hats made currently, and how do you differentiate?
So currently, we noticed with the Lubavitch business, I'll jump back to that, because they're kind of almost two different businesses, but at the same time they come together. And anytime there's a bar mitzvah boy, and
Bread and butter.
By the way, I was in
guy.
the store a few days ago. Nicest, sweetest African-American 40, 50-year-old guy came in with his wife or girlfriend.
Yeah.
They said, we see your stuff online. He chose like a color that no Lubavitcher ever buys. It was like a brown or a cream with like a weird bow, whatever. He tried it on. He looked around 2-3 times in the mirror, loved it, swiped his credit card. He was out, and he's like, I'll be back.
Yeah, 100%.
And then the next thing could be a bar mitzvah bacher getting a regular black fedora. So your clientele is everybody.
Yeah, and it goes from a guy coming in and buying a collection, meaning he's buying 5-6 hats, and he's spending $2,000-$3,000 on hats. And then I'm back with that 12-year-old alternative telling me, why is it better than Borsalino? And I got to sit there and I start from scratch and I got to show him. I said, you know what? Go down the block. Ask them for the most expensive hat. Come back. 99% of the time it works and people always come back.
So again,
I'll tell you
where
why
do you
the
make your
quality.
hat? Where do you make your
So
hats?
right now we realized with the Lubavitch hats, we really have to go to the source. Me and my brother flew down to Italy and we make it a thing to go there. We went around. We landed there.
So no more Montreal manufacturing?
So we still manufacture in Montreal. That's more of our online, all our colored hats, custom hats. We need to be close. My brother's in the factory.
Exotic hats, Montreal.
My brother's in the factory every single day, all day. That's how we can produce them. We're the only factory that can make custom hats.
Hold on.
Because
you're the only hat people that you can actually talk to the guy and say, hey, where's your hat made? You
Right.
go to the other quote-unquote
it's a
big
secret.
brands.
Yeah.
You don't know where. There's no founder. I always gravitate to founder-led brands. So all other
Thank you, yeah.
non-existent brands exist.
I love this detail. That means all the exotic, weird colors, unique bows, ties, whatever. Your brother's
Made in Montreal.
in a
My brother's
factory
in
in
the
Montreal,
factory.
custom, overseeing it, handmade, done.
Yeah.
Then the regular black hat, Lubavitcher hats are being made in Italy.
Yeah. And
Do
we're
your
actually
profits fluctuate a lot based on currency? Because it's Canada and Italy. How does that
the
work?
tariffs hurt. We're paying 15% tariffs
In Italy.
on anything from Italy.
15?
Yeah. And it's a
Montreal?
lot because we really try to keep like our margins very slim on black hats. And black hats require a lot of inventory. And on our other hats online, it goes small, medium, large, extra large, double XL, triple XL. There's 5-6 sizes. In Lubavitch hats, 52 to 63. That's triple amount of sizes. In each black hat, you need to have 6 different brim sizes, and you're holding thousands of dollars of inventory. And every order you place, you need to invest so much money, and your margins are a lot slimmer. And we try to.
Do you borrow? Does that kill the margins? How does it work with the interest?
Yeah, we have to borrow. We've done, and growing without taking investors is
You need a
probably
couple
one
of
of the
million
things.
bucks. We'll have lunch
So you
with
still didn't take
Curdy
investors
can't-
yet?
We still
Curdy
don't.
can't give
We
us
still
a few
don't
million?
have any investors.
Kurt
No.
definitely can help him with that.
And it definitely hurts margins because we're using our credit cards. We're using Shopify. We do our sales on Shopify, which actually the CEO of Shopify, Danny, what's his name?
Canadian.
Finkelstein?
Finkel something.
Yeah, Finkelstein, who's a big donor of Chabad, donates millions of dollars. He donated a huge center recently. He bought for his whole executive team matching hats from us. And it's really cool. The biggest platform on the world for online selling is buying from us, and we're your customer. Maybe give us a break on, a year of your platinum. But he's a customer and he supports us and he's amazing. He always talks about our hats and he wears our hats again and again. And
Available on Shopify.
yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, our platform is on Shopify.
So the Italian hats, you go to Italy and you go to a good.
So we went to Italy and we made a list before we got there, and we traveled the entire Italy to every single hat factory in Italy. There's very few factories left in the world.
How many left in Italy?
In North America, there's like 2.
In Italy?
And Italy, there's probably 8. And we traveled to each one. A lot of them were just a guy, a hipster.
Is Stetson still around?
Stetson's in Texas.
Just for statuses, for statistics, in the 1930s, when hundreds of millions of people were wearing it, how many hats factories were there?
They were
then?
all over. They had in Brooklyn a factory, then in Staten Island there was a massive factory. They only closed like 30 years ago. Some of these factories really stuck it out. Like the factory we work with in Montreal is over 100 years old. The equipment's over 100 years old.
What percent of their business is you?
So when we started, we came to him. He's like, you're the 100th Lubavitcher or Jew to come to us and tell us that you want to start a hat brand. And he's like, everybody. And my brother's like, no, you never meet us. We're different.
We had a restaurant for 3 years.
We suffered through a lot.
To talk sponsors, should we jump into sponsors?
We always talk about
forget?
sponsors. We have to keep the show going. Pass me that Haggadah.
This beautiful.
By the way, I was listening to one of your last podcasts and like just hearing about the Haggadah. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy one.
Your next door neighbor.
Your next door neighbor.
A kas. Maishi, please bring one over.
It's amazing that it took till 2026 that the Pesach table was full of wine, water, seltzer, karpas, chareses, murrer. There's no room on the Haggadah table, on the Seder table for anything. Finally, Kahas puts out a stunning Haggadah that takes up only 25% of the table space. Times that by 10, 20, 30 people, you finally could put something down on the table. Beautiful art, standing, says all the Lubavitchim and Hagim, and it tells you what to do. Break the matzah, pour the cup, spill the cup, dip things. It says,
you usually say that. Usually in the Haggadah, what do you find? It's the funniest line.
Usually in the Haggadah, you open it up a year later. There's chazeres, there's karpas, there's shank bones falling out. It stinks. It's smelly.
Can it keep you busy when the brother-in-law is saying his extra long Dvar Torah?
Look at these cute pictures and everything.
Okay.
Any random page.
My
The
favorite
fifth
line
son.
of your ad is when you talk about the Mara from last year. I
Look at
laugh
this.
every time.
Look at this. The fifth son. The modern power of assimilation has created fifth son unaware of Judaism and Passover, so you can strive to personal. It's amazing. By the way, if you go to Kahat
And the code.
Yeah, when you go to Kahas's website, I think it's kahat.org or whatever it is. When you go to this standing Haggadah, you put in Clappy. By the way, somebody couldn't find it. It's the top left. Clappy, Clappy, 15% off.
Wow.
And many people use the code already.
Oh, and by the way, they're honoring the code in the store. I spoke to, was Markel? What's his name?
Maishi Markel, yeah.
He told me that they're honoring it in the
Nicest
store. And there's
Secretly a great
they're
artist.
flying off the shelf. By the way, give me the box for a second, if you don't mind.
slipcase.
When you buy it comes in this case. So you imagine you go over to your balabas, your
does it
donor, or
cost?
your worker.
I say
The
which
whole
one.
thing is $39 plus my
okay.
15% off. And when you buy 20, 30, 40, the price goes down to as low as $23.95 if you buy it in bulk.
It's a nice gift.
A gorgeous gift. Shluchim, you have to order them for your balabatim. If you're running large Pesach seders, you need to order for everybody to take up less table space.
There
On
you
a
go.
personal note, I want to thank Yossi Freeman Kahas for allowing my 10-year-old son to get power to sell his popcorn on Eastern Parkway. So Yossi Freeman from Kahas
Very exciting.
is a real man of chesed.
Talking about
Standing
Pesach,
up, yeah.
the children have to enjoy the Yom Tov. And I'm telling you now, the children, when they think of Pesach, they're not thinking about the 22% wine or the matzah. They're thinking about the kosher of Pesach, schmerling chocolate.
Minor. Could you
Minor,
please eat it
but
on the show, Kahas?
not only the minor, I don't know, it's called
By
minor.
the way, I've
because
never
it's
seen
small.
this size box.
Yeah, it's
But I
like a
hope they don't
bulk.
sell it in stores because this is going to be dangerous for me. I buy this box. That means it's one ride, one car ride.
I go nuts. It has nuts inside it. I go nuts for the nuts. It's so delicious. It's like the biggest treat the whole year.
Oh man, I dated my wife over Pesach, and I bought like 18 bars of chocolate for the glove compartment. That was me flexing. This is I don't have money. I'm selling 2 hats a week, but I have
Richard chocolate.
I had 18 Schmerling chocolates. She didn't touch one. I ate them all the way back from Muncie, and every day I had to rebuy that Schmerling chocolate.
So good. So creamy. Pesach is 2 weeks away. Mm-hmm. It's not worth cleaning cars anymore. It's not worth cleaning a car. You just call Wheels to Lease, ask for Saul or for Izzy Herman, the top salesman. The Nissan Rogue. You said you had a Nissan Rogue.
And he felt like a king when he had
Felt like a
the
king. They're practically giving them away.
Right.
And his staff tells me, Shlomi's son tells me, that the most entry-level Nissan Rogue today that they're selling the 2026 second quarter, the end of the year quarter, and the next model in 2026 has automatic entry, lift gates, everything under the sun, and they're like $2 something a month.
Crazy.
It's not normal.
The Sentra or the Rogue?
The Rogue.
The Rogue.
Yeah, leasing
The
got a lot
Rogue is
cheaper
under
now.
200 a month. The Sentra's is like under 200. The Rogue is in the mid 200s.
My nephew keeps on calling me to borrow my car. I said, bro, just get a car.
Call
for
Wheels
lease
to
for
Lease.
200,
Stop
under
playing games.
200.
Stop playing games. And who else we have? Okay,
What do you have extra guests and you don't have chairs and tables?
if you
What
don't
do
have
do?
extra guests or you're making a fancy event or a simcha,
What do we do?
you just call A1 Party Rentals. They got all the comfort. If you're making a big podcast and you need many chairs, you need microphone stands, you need tables, you need cadenzas, you need furniture, office furniture, trade shows. They're in the Javits Center almost every day now, A1.
Wow.
People think that A1 owns the Javits Center because everybody making big corporate events, they have A1 Party Rentals. How many
Orange
times?
truck, those
How many
iconic
times?
orange trucks.
Last night we were going to the Barclays Center. Who was in front of us at the red
A1,
light?
A1.
A1 Party Rentals. We were
A1.
going to New Jersey last week for the trade show. A1 Javits Center.
Do you think Ellie sends the trucks in front of us?
No, they're very expensive to have these trucks roaming around the streets. Trust me, Ellie, every time that truck is on the road, it's full to capacity. A1 Party Rentals for all your rental needs. CH Butcher. Pesach is here. You need to order all your meat, your chicken, your flankins, your gooseneck. I don't know what you need, whatever you need.
And
Also, you don't want to cook before Pesach. You go out to the CH Butcher restaurant on Troy Avenue, get the Manhattan experience, sit down, 5-course meal, no double parking tickets, no babysitting for 10 hours. You walk right in, sit down, fancy, top service. And when you want to cook, you go to their Albany Avenue butcher shop, CH Butcher.
Beautiful store.
Everything is amazing. Everything's top. American beef.
Clap, you know, I always tell Kabakov that I've never seen such a fancy Mishachis establishment. It's very confusing. It's very off-brand to have a Mishachis beautiful butcher.
By the way, I moved to Kfar Kabakov. Lincoln Place between Schenectady and Utica is like one of the most Jewish blocks, and
Yeah.
it's thanks to him. So
Kabakovs are taking over Crown
Yeah.
Heights.
Not a
it's
joke. And I just want to show me and Clappy's new tea line. We have some samples. I want to show quickly.
Yeah, why not?
We're still debating. We're having flavors here. We just got Hashkacha approved. This is a hibiscus.
Hashkacha means the rabbis are going to make money off us.
why not just put Ashkacha Pratis?
That's what Yossi used to
Pay
do.
us,
The
yeah,
connection.
give us a little
And
cut.
this is a raspberry hibiscus.
Let me taste it. Let me taste
You
it.
wanna taste
First
it?
time. You were in this factory last night messing around with the voodoo stuff over there.
I was, with her.
Which one is hibiscus?
This is hibiscus mixed with raspberry fruity tutti.
Matches the chair.
No sugar, no caffeine.
Any taste?
That's debatable. I lost a lot of weight drinking hibiscus tea, so
I like it.
You
It
do?
tastes very natural.
you say serious or
Mm-hmm.
just
If you know that there's no sugar added and it's natural and it's
caffeine.
flavorful, it's very good.
so hopefully we'll be ready by the summer.
It's not like sweet, like you're tasting like a whole pack of Sweetamo from like Snapple. It's like a natural kick to it.
I realize that color, the visual is so important.
Very important.
If there's no sugar, you need something going on.
Yeah, the
taste-
color's good.
The visual affects the taste, and it's all psychological. So this is more like a replacement for water. If you can't, for me,
I don't like water. This is very tasteful. Compared to water, it has a lot of
exactly.
taste.
Everything's relative. For me, drinking the only time I can drink plain water is in the gym when I'm schwitzing. I'm high on the high on what's it called? I don't know. High from the dopamine from the gym. That's the only time I could drink plain water. Otherwise, I can't. It's very hard for me.
Similar, yeah.
Maybe in the restaurant, when I'm about to spend like $200 on a meal, I force myself to drink the free water just to feel like I'm getting.
So
Yeah.
you have this gorgeous showroom, drop dead
Yeah.
stunning showroom. You have two different types of clientele.
Right.
Hold on,
And
would you talk about the?
Italy.
Italy,
You want to talk
so
about
you went
Italy?
around Italy until you found the best
it wasn't-
factory.
Oh
Listen,
yeah, how'd you
Italy-
find your?
Italy
What makes
wasn't
you
as easy.
different? And can you tell us what makes you different?
Yeah.
And I guess
Yeah,
that
so
ties into
obviously
your
we did a
sourcing.
lot of research before we went to Italy. It also, like you said, everything we did was a big investment. Without it,
I'm sorry, I'm going to
booking
forget
flights.
this question.
Yeah,
How many different brim options are there?
in Black Hat, there's 6 different brim options.
different-
Not
Okay,
anymore. Now
And-
Terebet,
and
2-point
now we
quarter.
have- yeah, exactly.
Done. Terebet.
It's the most
Six,
popular.
okay.
Is that
It
what you
actually
gave
looked
me
the
last
best.
week? Is
yeah.
it Terebet?
And
Yeah.
ribbon sizes? How many options?
Huh?
How many
Depending,
ribbon-
it's
heights?
depending on the height of the crown. Yeah,
How many-
It varies. A smaller brim wants a thicker
How many
crown.
how many crown options are there?
It's proportionate to the brim size, so it gets a little higher with the bigger the brim
Oh,
you
so
go.
it's the same proportion.
Yeah.
And the ribbon is how
Yeah,
many
that's
different
that's the
options?
mistake a lot of the other people did is like they shrunk the brims, but they forgot to lower the crowns. So they're walking around with big crowns, no brim, and it's like it looks a little
The
off.
crown
So
is this part of that.
this part of the hat's the crown,
Very
is the
nice.
brim. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we did a lot of research before we went. We knew who the felt suppliers were already. We were already working with them. And then it's about finding the factory that can actually do what we want. And these factory owners, they go crazy they all want the Jewish business because from the outside, it sounds like it's
hundreds of thousands of people.
Millions of Jews. Exactly.
Bread and
Every
butter.
anti-Semite thinks there's billions of Jews. Relax. We're not that big. And you can't survive off just selling black hats. Let me, point it out. Like if you want to survive, you have to have other things going on in the business. And thank God most of our business, 80% of our business comes from online. Customers all over the world, Jewish, not Jewish, but you can't make a living off just selling plain black hats, at least at my price range and my production, cost. So we went to all the factories in Italy. We drove through. We got in a tiny rental car, and we literally flying on the highways. Everyone drives at 100 miles per hour, and we actually started acting like them because there's most of the places we stopped, we weren't kosher food. At night, we went to the ghetto in Rome, and then we ate via Darf design.
Like the 3 lunches?
Huh?
Like the 3 lunches?
I had all 3 lunches and dinner.
Over here, you were paying.
We became best friends with the waiter because we went to the same restaurant every night, and he brought us the whole menu and the pricing. By the way, the one place I think kosher food really tastes different is in Italy. The flavors are different. The quality of the food is different. The pastas, the meat. It's really, they have their food down pat.
Better than France?
Better than France, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
People swear by the France food. So.
Yeah, we French cuisine is in every steakhouse in New York is a French cuisine restaurant. You know
La
what I mean?
Marais is all French.
La Marais, exactly.
I like La Marais.
I love La Marais too, and it goes from $35 a steak over there, and you can
They're
pay
very well priced.
Yeah, you can pay $250 for the same steak, down the block, and it's, whatever.
Well, you know what's funny? Clappy used to tell everyone about our drink that there's no. What do you say? There's no caffeine, no sugar, and no taste. And he's going for the second sip. Just want to point that out. Continue.
Yeah. So I'm
trying to pitch my drink to people to get excited, and he always he's second and third sip.
So we're in Italy, and the only thing we're doing what the rest of the Italians do, and they're having an espresso by every gas station. And every time we got to a new city, a new place, everyone offers you, come for a meeting, they sit you down, they give you a little seltzer, and they give you a really strong double shot. And you shoot it back, and we're shaking already. Every day we're just jittering because, thank God one of the days we were in, one of the shluchim came to bring us breakfast, which was like a huge savior,
Clappy should know, before the show, I thought I would fall asleep. He's a very good story.
This guy's great. This guy's great. This guy's great. I'm addicted.
Yeah. So
now, he got boring before.
I'm sorry. I was telling you about...
Because I love the school part. I'm still going to go back to that.
Listen, I'm 30 years old to get to 17.
If you want to get Moshe excited on the show, come on, sit down, say you were thrown out of every school, and that's it.
Open an Altair podcast,
I just found out now. Connor Perman from Toronto told me that Wagner in Toronto almost threw me out, and he was angry that my reference in Mesivta, quote unquote, was not honest about my thing, and because he's like, "What?" He sent me this book. He said it's so great. I came from Chai V'Etar. I guess the bar wasn't so high, and he took me to yeshiva.
By the way,
they say that one head shliach sent out more shluchim than the Rebbe.
But then
he doesn't get it.
I'll say. Can I say a trouble story that they
hold on? But many years after, Rabbi Wagner used to forbid in my house sukkahs every year. So full circle. All his wonderful to me. The only one that not only.
Moshe, a quick trouble story.
I became a big fan after yeshiva. Actually, that's when I became a fan of Rabbi Wagner.
A quick trouble story. I'll give you which I think I'm helping the future kids. I'm very close with Yoni Lefkowitz. He's assistant principal in Altera. I think he's one of the most liked guys in Altera.
Which division?
6th and 7th grade.
Okay.
And we were together. We hang out all nights together. Hatzala calls, and he's the nicest guy in Hatzala, nicest principal, and he really cares about all the kids. And I'm in his ear one day at dismissal, and we're talking. He's in the middle of dismissing the kids, and he has to tell one of the kids off for not coming with like a white shirt or something. And he tells the kid, "I need you," or I don't know if it was dismissal or lunchtime. He's like, "I need you to go home and change your shirt. Tell your parents you can't." I'm like, Yoni, you just gave me PTSD from my days. He's like, ever since then, I can't punish a kid without thinking about you. So for a year now, he won't punish a kid without thinking about me, thinking twice. And in general, he's not a guy that punishes because I think they know that.
Driving around Italy.
Yeah, driving around Italy.
And getting jitters.
Jittering around. We're like, okay, none of these factories, they're all like what you have in Brooklyn, these hipsters making one hat at a time, or they're making every hat looks differently.
Every hat is handmade?
Every hat's handmade.
Okay.
Yeah. And the problem is with that is that we have a different perspective of what a hat's supposed to look like. When we swipe the up or down a brim, we need this to stay perfectly round and go down. We also need 12-year-olds to wear it, 13-year-olds to wear it and not destroy it. And it's really hard because a real hat wearer, they don't have this idea of swiping the brim perfectly down. They grab it over here in the front, they put it to the side, and that's how a hat's supposed to be worn. So there's hat makers all over Italy that are, they're making beautiful hats, but it doesn't pass as a Lubavitch hat. or as a black hat, because I have a lot of yeshivish customers. They get very nervous.
I have to say
Yeah.
this. I'm getting so angry
Yeah.
because I have this argument on my stupid WhatsApp groups every single day.
Yeah.
The hats you buy on Amazon that look like our hats for $50,
Yeah.
they're not made out of rabbit fur.
No,
they're made out of cheap wool. And the shape is off from day one. You always look like a freak that fell out of Wyoming.
Yeah.
And you're not going to pass the Schul test.
It's people that gave up.
I tried it. It doesn't work.
I know it does not work.
I have this argument with this guy in my WhatsApp group every day. It doesn't work.
No.
You have to buy rabbit fur hats.
100% rabbit or
Just
beaver
gotta get that
felt.
off. I have to get it off my chest.
Yeah, and you come to Bellissimo, you invest in, you have
Every
one hat last
yuckle, I
years.
could show you an Amazon link
Yeah.
for $60. Mazel tov. Yes, we know the story.
By the way, yeah, so we're going around to finally our after 7 different places, and they all want our business. So they're all really into us and treating us nice and showing us different materials and the more expensive materials they
They're
try.
spiking the coffee already.
Yeah, they were on a second coffee, and everyone's loving the breaks and whatever. And the last factory we get, and they're all the brims. Nothing looks right. None of the brims are staying down because everyone wants a small brim, and it doesn't.
Can you explain that? Be
This
visual.
is the brim, right?
Okay,
So
yes.
you buy a hat, and actually thank God, whatever. The competition, unfortunately, hasn't mastered this because they shrunk down the brims. They used to making hats for Israel, and when you swipe it down, if it's a small brim, the brim flops back up. This goes boom. And parents are going crazy at their 13-year-olds thinking they destroy the hat. Really, the hat just wasn't made to stay down perfectly. And this is something you really need to show, and you need to choose.
So the mainstream hats are meant to stay up like this.
Mostly, yeah. Most people wear the brim up like that, or maybe they'll pull down a little part of it just to give it a little bit of character.
Oh.
And when you buy an Amazon hat, that's usually the way the shape is. Part of it's bent down, the other part's not, and
Exactly.
it's stuck like that.
Exactly.
You know,
It's like stuck in the middle.
It's
It
stuck in the
doesn't-
middle.
that's
That's what it
the
is.
gators.
Yeah. So we had to tell them like, hey, we see what you're doing, and we're well
Hold on.
known.
We need some social media.
Yeah.
3 differences between an Amazon hat and a Jewish hat. Tell us now.
3 differences. Okay,
Rabbit
number
fur
one,
versus wool.
Number one difference in a hat is the felt that they're using.
Yes.
So right now for our black hats, we would only use rabbit felt or beaver felt.
Number 2.
Number 2 is the molds that they're using. How are they blocked? There's steel blocks, there's wooden blocks, there's different things. How are they molding the hats? What's the process? After you make the hat, it has to go back onto a block. And a lot of factories will skip this step because it's not important, to them, the brim part, this part of the hat. So it goes in and it's a good looking hat. It just doesn't swipe down.
Number 3.
Number three, I don't know if I can find the third difference in Amazon. Yeah,
Beaver versus rabbit.
Yeah, beaver versus rabbit.
A lot of money.
What's the difference
It's a
between
big
beaver
difference in
hat and
price.
rabbit hat?
You're paying for the felt.
Right.
So by me, you kind of just pay the felt difference. I never push it. First of all, I don't want people to spend more money than they have to. It goes from $280 for a rabbit felt hat to $450.
What's the difference?
The difference is it's a different animal. Beavers
Okay.
play in the water.
It looks different?
These are beavers that
Beaver,
and remember,
I know beaver looks gorgeous.
beavers that
looks
the beaver dams and all that. Those are that's the animal. Again, this is not the skin. A lot of people get this mixed up. Felt is not the skin.
fur of the animal.
It's the fur. They shave it off. We had to stop selling real feathers online for that go into the hat because of these,
Animal rights.
Yeah, animal rights. You can't ship real feathers anymore, so they're all handmade now. But like, imagine we're using skin of animals and we're selling thousands of hats. It's not doesn't pass. It's just the hair. They're farmed properly in a humanitarian way. We actually.
So does it last longer? The beaver or
beaver
same?
definitely lasts a lot longer.
A beaver
if it's
lasts longer.
100%.
The look is much more chashiv. It's a nice
It's a
look.
sharper black. The color stays in stronger. A lot of hats that I fix for people, and we get hats shipped from all over the U.S. I had my grandfather's hats. It's 50 years old, 60 years old. A lot of them were made with beaver felt. And these hats, we could, again, let's say it's sunburnt on the top of the hat. You ever see a hat that's like brown or green? If it's made with like enough felt.
Why did they send you the hat? To
They
copy
send
it?
us to
restore it.
refurbish it.
Oh, you
And we'll
do
charge it.
refurb hats?
Yeah. And depending how much work needs to be done, if it's just a steam cleaning and blocking, well, $50, you have it back. If we have to send to the factory, change the ribbon, redo the whole hat, a little more, So if it's done with proper felt, you can literally shave off the top layer of the hat and you have a whole brand new hat underneath it. And I see that with my hats now. We've been selling beaver hats for like 2.5 years, 3 years of guys that need to look perfect, guys that go on camera. I'll give him a little plug. One of my favorite people is Elkanah Shmatkin. He davens in my shul every day. He gives a
You
shear.
a rabbi? No.
No, Jem.
Jem, Elkanah Shmatkin from Jem.
I'm an actor for Jem. I act in all the kids' movies.
Oh, really?
I'm one of the me and Zalman Frieda, the lead actors.
That's his
Hold
secret
on,
to success. Elkanah's one. We don't have
Is he a
official
rabbi or is he
rabbi
a
in our
rabbi?
show. We have mashpiyim. I was always afraid of hiring a rabbi because then people have to not like the guy. So as long as there's no hired rabbi,
I
and
think you have trauma from your Masifta.
the hiring rabbis,
Yeah.
then they kick me out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
they tell me what to do. It could be that's the deeper.
Oh, that's a full circle.
Wow. Trauma, yeah.
So beaver versus
Beaver versus rabbit
your
felt.
your entry level
Entry
rabbit
level's
is
a rabbit felt.
It's $280.
Yeah. And I looked
And a
around-
beaver is how much entry level?
Beaver's $450, and it's
450.
100% beaver.
Wow.
And I know these other
Prices
brands.
fluctuate based on commodity
I haven't.
pricing?
No, I've kept my prices the same. I think
450 versus 280.
Yeah.
And then what were you saying?
we're actually coming up with one in the middle to have that middle ground.
Blend?
Of a blend of rabbit and beaver.
How much is that one?
We're gonna try to keep it around the 350 range.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
very well
Yeah,
priced.
and look, you go to the competition and you want like anything decent, you're looking at 390 rabbit felt,
And a beaver?
and beaver 590.
Hold on. The other guys, there's no story. Tell me the whole story, how he got it with the
Let me-
cappuccino and the
450,
espresso.
590. That's huge.
Yeah.
You could almost buy a hat in the middle.
Yeah, you could probably buy another hat in the middle.
And here you're overseeing production and top of the line, and you're saying with Chazaka that it's all that material.
it's all that material.
And you're doing all the shtick with the brim that stays
another
down.
thing that sets us apart is that we really care about our brand. Our brand is everything, and that comes with the customer service you're getting in the store. I hired a guy from California because he knows the customer service from there. We learned our customer service in California, so it's really nice.
I know
It's really-
Seth. I know Seth for many years.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, and
He was in customer
he cares
service
about-
in grocery stores, so he knows customer service.
Yeah, he's amazing. And in general, we really want like a person calls on the phone. They found us online. Some people don't think online businesses are real businesses. They speak to someone on the phone. They become their best friend. And I have my customers buying 30, 40 hats, hat collectors.
So online, they want to still talk to someone.
They still want to talk to someone.
know it's ordering
and it's
$5
really hard.
hat?
We have 3 of us answering the phones, and it's really hard to get to all the phones when you're dealing with customers in the store. You can't answer a phone. So if it goes from Seth to me to my brother Levi in Montreal, we're hoping to add people that could answer phones, because especially like older clientele, they don't want to email, they don't want to WhatsApp.
As an art gallery owner,
Yeah.
it's so true. No one buys it off the clicks.
No.
They all call. They want to talk to you.
They want to hear the
They want
story.
to make sure it's a online catalog.
Multi-billion-dollar company I worked for almost 14 years. Their online makes most of their sales, but they believe that their success is from their popular call-in center. That when a person buys a $10,000 item, they know
100%.
they could call up and in 10 seconds.
You can't
they
call
could-
Amazon.
They know that when they buy a $10,000 item, they could call up a minute later and have an hour conversation.
All right.
So the web online orders and the sales that are picking up the phone all work together.
Right. And what I've learned is that if a customer is complaining about their order, like first of all, a lot of them are made to order. So people buy things online, they expect to come in 2 days. It takes 3 to 4 weeks to make. There's a line of people. We have to stretch the felt. There's a whole 22-step process in making a hat.
So 20% of your business is in store, 80% online.
80% online.
Wow.
Yeah. And we how do I know you can't make enough money just selling black hats? Because from what I've gathered, I'm very close with the competition, and we get along, we speak to everybody, and like I hear we're moving the most hats on Kingston Avenue by far. And this is this was really had to convince almost every single customer that we can build a brand that's better than the brand that's been around for hundreds of years. I'm not gonna. Everyone has their reasons why we're better now. That it's not the same like it used to be. It's but this is their business. I'm in my business.
In the general market,
Yeah.
hats trending, out
Hats are definitely trending.
Trending,
We were just
Fashion Week. Are people wearing
Fashion
hats?
Week was a huge thing for us.
Somebody wore to the Oscars 2 nights ago.
Yeah, there's you see tons of pictures of the A-list celebrities. There's guys wearing our hats, with them, on them. Right now, every performer. First of all, we have a huge thing in the athletes. We were invited down to the Jets training fields, to the Giants training field.
Yeah,
a lot
Sean
of these.
Stellato, famous agent.
Sean Stellato's a famous agent, and Tommy DeVito, his quarterback, who has number 1 luck in the world. This guy went from being the 3rd place quarterback on the Giants to playing on the field the whole season and winning for them, and then he played in the Super Bowl this past year.
There's a Lubavitcher boy that was playing as a quarterback in a college football this year. Do you know Egghouse?
Egghouse.
I did not
It was
know
such
that. That's cool.
it was such nachas. So many kids are seeing a Lubavitcher boy running around they say he did really well. I don't
Yeah.
follow sports. I heard
So
he was
big
good.
thing with sport players. We actually were really into the sport players. My brother started with obviously getting the whole Montreal Canadiens. They all wear hats, and there's a thing called the hat trick in hockey. So they're really into hats. The hockey NHL players, but basically a lot of these sports players, after they're done playing, their brand just disappears. They have no brand. You could be the best player, like. If you don't have a brand, you don't have a business afterwards. You don't have your money disappears. So a lot of these guys need to make a statement, and they found that wearing a hat sets them apart. And the wackier or the brighter it is, the more bold their colors that they're wearing, the more it helps their brand. So we have like every.
Don't Japanese people also wear hats?
What's that?
Japanese people wear hats? a lot?
Japanese people. We have Japanese customers. It's not. I don't see that like a huge strong point right now, but
Not yet.
Not yet. We'll get to Japan.
The Chinese share, we're coming for you.
Yeah, but so that's like, and then we have like every singer. I don't know if I want to mention a bunch of names. But like,
everybody.
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 Michael Bublé is wearing this exact same hat I'm wearing, and he's wearing it on stage. Justin Timberlake's choreographer, what's it called, dance like producer. He came in recently to get a bunch of hats, and he's getting him into custom hats. Snoop Dogg was our biggest, one of our biggest. What's it called? Actually, crazy story. People think we get the celebrities that just come to us. No, sometimes you got to work for it. The guy that has 50 million followers on
Guy
Instagram.
to you, Matsasi Taman.
Yeah, we went and someone told us, okay, we could get you into Snoop Dogg's compound. He has a place near LAX. It's like a fortress, and a big gate and scary guys with big guns. And I don't know if I should say this. We show up there. Me and my two brothers. My brother lives in California. We schlepped him along. We're there wearing New York Yankee caps. So we don't know that there's a whole feud going on between West Coast, East Coast. There's a whole history about Snoop Dogg. Is that East Coast, West Coast, they don't get along. And we're wearing New York caps. And we show up at the gate and we're like, oh, we're here to meet Snoop. And like, who the hell are you? And we're like, what do you mean? We're the hat guys. Hat guys. So what? We got sent away twice. We went there. Until finally one of his guys that
Yossi Farrow would have wrapped the security guard. Fill in.
yeah, even though not one of them is a Jewish, but yeah.
Oh, so you weren't invited there? You just showed up.
We were invited by some side guy that wanted a free hat.
Oh, okay.
So he has a lot of guys that hang out with him every night. So but then one Motzei Shabbos we opened up our phones and our phone was blowing up. He went live showing off at a boxing match. His custom hat that he got. Snoop Dogg. And he's opening in the travel case slowly, and his comments are like, "What is that toilet bowl holder for your hat?" They didn't get what he's opening. And he has 50 million followers on his Instagram. So our phone is blowing up with notifications. How do we get this hat? This was maybe 2 years ago.
How long do these social media hype blow-ups last?
Very short. And not only that, you can get the biggest blow up and whatever. It could turn to zero sales. You can have a small thing that all of a sudden turns into thousands.
There's no rhyme and reason. It's all the Abishter. There's no rhyme and reason.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's say blow up in 1 month. You're getting a celebrity post. You get 100,000 in sales. How does that trickle down in the next few months?
Nothing gets you
how much does
thousands.
it continue?
No post will get you $1,000 in sales. It's all about ads. All ad spend. It's all how you spend your ads.
Also, Snoop Dogg posts.
Yeah, when Snoop posts, you do get some organic. It does blow up your phone, your Instagram. You get a lot more
Snoop Dogg
followers.
post, how much sales can you get?
I don't think you could put a number to it because
10,000 sales.
No,
Less.
there's less. Yeah.
Did it have your brand? Was it tagged?
It helps your brand.
Did it tag your brand when Snoop Dogg did?
No, he doesn't tag. He's not
he
busy
doesn't
tagging
tag.
people.
Oh,
you get to use that and you share it.
So what if the celebrity themselves tags you?
If the celebrity then tag it, you're getting 2,000 followers instantly.
What about sales?
Sales, you get a couple sales, but listen, all this stuff is brand recognition, and you need more and more, and it can't stop. It's every day you got to work on.
Because I know a guy with a chips brand. I just met him at a recent food show. He says his sales hundreds of thousands from some random influencer posted his chips.
Right. We have some Jewish wrestler that I don't know if he's gonna listen to this, but I never heard of him before. Seth was a big fan when he was younger, wrestling, and he happens to be Jewish. We put on film with him, and his things blow up. He's not the biggest influencer we have, but his people are very intuitive. They comment on every post.
What does that have to do if the celebrity has a fan base that's into clothing and dress? Then maybe they'll start putting on a hat. But if it's a guy that Steve Jobs, guy wore T-shirts and jeans his whole life, I don't think his followers wear hats.
Right, but it's all brand recognition, and it really helps.
Oh, speaking of fashion, Clappy is not wearing his scarf. How do you feel about that? Please comment below.
I'm gonna dress.
My wife forbade me from wearing the scarf today. She said no more scarf.
Well, it's fine because an announcement because it's been a big streak here. But like I said, the business always pulls us, and we always try to stay focused on what we do in the store. And obviously our hats was our main thing. For years, people are asking us, "Okay, you have the Chassanim now coming to you. Why don't you sell kapatas?" I just shopped around.
I was in the store Sunday. There's racks of kapatas now.
There's racks of kapatas. We're moving a lot of kapatas, but it's the biggest secret in Crown Heights. You only find out from the previous chassan. Best kept secret.
My nephew got married, Dala Thomas, last year.
Yeah.
Dala Thomas, Avi. He swears he went to every store and it's the best kapata.
Yeah.
What makes your kapata different?
We brought that. Well, we're in Italy doing different materials, buying Italian material, proper quality. There's a tailor, Boogie. I don't know if you guys know him.
Everybody knows Boogie.
Yeah, everyone knows Boogie, right? Big, whatever, hardest place to get your stuff done, but he's the best tailor when it comes to kapatas. He's been doing kapatas for 30 years. And
is that Shemta's guy?
He was Shemtav's. He worked for the next place. Okay. And he says he hasn't seen silk like this in 20 years. It's not shiny.
Could you
it's
put a
not
Boogie
plastic.
Hechter?
It has Boogie Hechter. By the way, he says he checks shotness better than any guy in the world, and it's really important.
You have to ask a Rav. Could a non-Jew check for shotness?
Honestly, I would have him check, and then you go get your Hechter somewhere else. Get the guy to pay the guys $2.
By the way, I want to say something about shotness.
Yeah.
I used to always think that shotness is make believe, and it's all made up, and it's who knows, whatever. I brought a coat, a Banana Republic coat. I brought it to Regency Cleaners 15, 20 years ago. I was a Bachar and Awatera. I don't know, Zalm or Sifta, whatever. I brought a Banana Republic coat. I brought it there. The guy, David, that checks for the show. What's his name? Cohen, maybe?
What are you talking about? Regency Cleaners?
No, he had the guy that comes. Ezra, the guy that checked for shotness. He called me up. He's like, Yisrael, whatever. He had my phone number there, whatever. He said, your coat is loaded with shotness. I said, could you get rid of it? He said, yeah, for an extra $40, $45. I came to
loaded,
the store.
It's probably still there.
No. He said he knows how to get rid of it because Banana Republic, that coat, a lot of them,
they probably had a lining and
whatever.
Linen
and I came to the store a few days later. There was a piece of cardboard with all the shotness tied around it. So I'm saying it's not a joke.
Right.
Shotness is a real thing.
That sounds like a little bit, but let me tell you, Fashion Week, we met with our factory that produces our kapatas, and now we do custom suits, so I'm wearing right now. The lady told us, like, I know spring's coming along, so here's all your new books for materials that we suggest. Don't take this whole pile of books. I'm like, why not? She's like, when it comes to spring and summer, it's almost all shotness.
Wow, the lighter materials.
Lighter material. They want to use wool. They need to make it lighter, so they actually blend linen in there. And everyone thinks it's just a thing from the Torah we don't use, and that's it. No, it's a practical thing to mix wool and linen. So she's like, don't even take these books because you're gonna end up ordering shotness. You're gonna have problems with customers.
With
and this is a non-Jew, by the way.
With Ozempic phase, is that helping your custom suit business?
It's definitely helping my custom suit business. I think one thing that sets us apart with custom suits.
The kapatas are off the rack. The suits that you make are custom.
Kapatas, I only charge $100 more to go custom. I'm very our view of the Yiddish business is help people out, make nice quality, customer service. Don't be a chazer. There's margins. You can make your margins and move on. You're not going to become rich ripping one person off.
What's with Ozempic, bro?
What's with Ozempic?
Is it helping your business?
It's definitely helping my business. A lot of people feel way more confident, and I'm getting customers in that was never able to fit into clothing.
Every day?
No, but they're already down, and we can make them feel even skinnier. By the way, one thing that sets me apart is ever since I never got anything custom until I started doing custom, and it was for one reason. I always felt, I'm going to lose weight and I'll look better.
Isn't custom like $5,000 a suit?
First of all, it's not $5,000.
How much is that suit that you're wearing? I'm getting that suit. I'm coming in today to get measured.
You can $750. You can get a fully custom suit.
Just do $770. It sounds better.
How many fittings?
We do it in 2 fittings. And
what's it made out of?
This is Italian wool.
Can I feel that?
It's flannel. Yeah, sure.
Woo!
Hold on, you said woo before you touch it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's the look. Who cares? But we have
it's like a Super 120. What is it?
Nah, even higher. What do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but listen, you could choose. We have books and books of material you could choose from. Also,
what do you think about Ozempic, Clap?
First of all, I don't want to get sued.
Yeah,
these are like big
first of all,
billion
is
dollar
someone
companies.
paying you for Ozempic? Why would you advertise them?
GLP-1.
These dieting shots. I don't know names. I don't know. Don't sue me. I have no money. But these dieting shots. I was going to go on them last year. I called up a bunch of close friends and family members. I was like, just tell me the truth. What are the side effects? And they're like, I'm nauseous. I got diarrhea. My stomach. One person tells me that burping all day. It smells. It was like, got to go to the gym, and you got to be careful what you eat. Don't have 8 minor chocolate bars. Have only 3 a day. I'm saying you could do things.
By the way, the nicest compliment I get is when people ask me, "Oh, are you on Ozempic?" I say, "No, I got into custom clothing. I went for a training."
Oh, you're not on Ozempic?
I'm not on Ozempic.
Chayo, you any more Hatzalah calls because of GLP?
We don't talk about Hatzalah.
We don't talk about Hatzalah.
Let
me tell you, the number one rule in Hatzalah when you join is they don't care if you're the best member. You take the most calls. You save them the most lives. The second you open your mouth, you're out.
I heard rumors off the record
that
there's a lot of GLP related Hatzalah calls from ladies and stuff.
It makes sense if you're stuck on the toilet for 3 days.
It's very simple. With
nauseous,
GLP-1, one of the things they tell you is you have to drink a lot of water. And nobody could keep up with the amount of water that you need to drink, and
they can't keep up because they're not drinking our brand. Once they start,
I don't know the name yet.
I don't even know what it is, but once they start drinking this hibiscus, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to promote something that I'm not getting. Why would we promote something we're not getting paid for, right? And also,
right.
But you got to be careful with hydration. You're saying as a experienced Hatzalah paramedic, not Stam EMT.
Paramedic, macher. How many paramedics are there in Crown Heights? Hatzalah?
I never counted, but it's on. I think it's about 10, maybe.
And you work in Crown Heights.
I work in
so
Crown
you're
Heights.
probably getting all the important calls.
I was told one of the reasons they took me on Hatzalah was because people hear good things when they go good customer service. And if a guy's grumpy to you at a store, and then you show up in the middle of the night in his bedroom, like they don't want this guy that's kicked him out of his store. So that was one of the reasons I think they took me. Also, I'm on Kingston Nason Parkway during the day. But yeah, customer service.
From being married 14 years and having a bunch of little children,
14? He's 30.
I'm saying.
Oh,
You're talking about yourself?
Sorry,
I got scared for a second.
No, I've unfortunately called Hatzalah many times. Baruch Hashem, everything is fine now. And I always felt like Crown Heights has the best Hatzalah in the world. The response time is always seconds.
Yeah.
The bedside manner is always like meshugeh good.
Right.
And like I remember one time somebody in the family had to go on a Friday night, and by the time they got back, I knew that the guy that took her ruined his entire family meal. Didn't go to shul that night, didn't anything, whatever. And I saw him the next day. I went to Beit Shmuel for a kiddush, and I saw him leaving there, and I wanted to thank him and talk to him. He's like, I don't even want to talk about it. It never happened. We never met. Everything is perfect.
You know why I didn't want to talk about it? Because he got home and his wife was pissed. She cooked a whole meal.
No. He's a very sweet guy. What I'm saying is, Zalma, you know who you were. My point is that it's like I always felt like Crown Heights' Hatzalah is like a step above.
That's great. That's all. I mean, I got to know.
Could it be because the Rebbe was very into it, and the Rebbe said they should park it outside 770? It's like I feel like it's very blessed.
Yeah. I mean, I think all Hatzalas are great. I got to know some other Hatzalah members, different community from doing the paramedic course. So these guys become your brothers. The guys from Borough Park, from KJ, from all different places, get together. And I think everybody has the same.
Let me ask you a question. I already had 20 people call him and getting the silent treatment. Do you think there's a 0.1% chance we're going to get?
Oh my gosh!
Hingy Vashitsky on the show.
Hingy Vashitsky takes 3,000 calls a year. I don't know when you're going to find him. Maybe go on the bus, sit in the front seat, put like a curtain so you don't see what goes on.
Losers podcast where we're begging people to come and they don't come.
No,
So
but
please don't kill our brand.
No, because if I bring Gimel Talmud and Evergreen, and I am
he has the best
Can we
one.
come the last time? We can't look desperate.
Next.
We're a new
Okay.
podcast. We have to look very cautious. And everyone's running to come to our show. You start keeping asking for the guy.
Well, listen, there's some guys that are hard to get
You're
to.
going to kill our brand, Clappy. Okay?
I'll give him a case of hibiscus tea.
Yeah.
Our producer says we can't look desperate. So please
right.
look chashuv like everyone's
So you're from the Chashvat Hatzalah members in Crown Heights?
Yeah.
And he said GLP, if you don't
I don't
drink
know.
water...
I'm not making statements as a
you're
Hatzalah member.
gonna be
GLP-1. Let's
calling
move on.
Hatzalah. Hatzalah
GLP-1.
calls are up.
So let me ask you.
that.
So let me ask you. You come into the store to get, let's say, a bar mitzvah boy suit, and you get a kapata for the father and hats. There's discount packages.
We figure stuff out.
Yeah,
there's
said
always
you-
we're
earlier
personal
this-
people.
I'm sorry. Earlier in the show, you wanted to become a greer.
Yeah.
Has the hats made you a greer yet?
No, entrepreneurs is. I'll tell you, we're still in growth mode. Everything still goes back into the business.
Do you want to open up more locations?
I don't think the future is in physical locations. There's more to do online. We do plan on opening up more physical locations for the Jewish business. Like places like Lakewood. We have people driving in.
Lakewood is on fire.
It's on fire, but why are they driving in from Lakewood to Crown Heights? And I have from Queens. What's the big yeshiva in Queens? Chavetz Chaim. We have every Sunday. We have these Ubers of like 15 kids in an Uber car coming to buy hats by us. So we know we have to expand in the yeshivish world and Litvish world because they're traveling to us. The hats don't look different. It's all about how you smash the hat afterwards, So
what's the Lubavitcher thing? They want to. I don't do it anymore,
Yeah,
but they
a
want to
3-pinch.
smash it like the Rebbe's hat in the
Right.
back. Like, what's that all about?
I mean, you can look at any video of the Rebbe. Is it exactly a 3-pinch? It's more rounded. I don't know. Rebbe Listic didn't like bubbles, but Rebbe had a bubble most of the time. Anytime I was saying it looks down like this, I'm looking at his hat, It's,
the Rebbe wore a gray hat in the early years. Yeah, I see pictures of the Rebbe in a gray hat.
Rebbe had a gray hat.
So people shouldn't be so scared to get gray, navy. It doesn't have to be black.
What does it have to do? You know what I mean? There's guys in Makusha that don't wear hats, But
Is blue hat still a thing?
yeah,
What is this? What color is this?
He's wearing a midnight blue, so it's very dark, and I actually like that. I wear that a lot Friday nights with my kapata. People have to ask you, is that a blue hat? It's a great hat to get if you want to try a different color without being too out there.
How many different SKUs do you carry now?
We have a lot.
50, 100?
We have a lot. It's different sizes, different
How many different
styles.
colors?
Different colors, and what hat? They have 30 different colors.
The
30
box,
options.
the hat
More.
box, by the way, when I came to get my hat last week, the hat
The
box
travel
that you
case,
have, the travel case, it's the smallest one in the industry. It takes
Yeah.
up almost no traveling
tiny.
space.
But people were mentioning that when you did the video.
Yeah, we're going crazy
You
over
post
the
on a
case.
status, all of a sudden people are calling me about the travel
Right.
case. I'm like, just come into the store. I don't
not
know.
only
We
that,
make $5 on it. It's an add-on item. Like, come buy a hat.
People tell me they love that case because
Yeah.
they put the hat in the middle and then they put the wife's shadel inside
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
And it has the back flap that it connects to your roll-on
Goes in your
suitcase.
travel case. First of all, the best thing is if your wife uses it as her shaitel case, then it's her problem. She worries about your hat making it to Pesach or to whatever. Otherwise, I'm the guy in shul without a hat because the guy that sells hats doesn't have a hat.
My takeaway here is that Bellissimo.
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 First of all, it's not a knockoff of another brand, the name. Number two, every single item is well thought out. From beginning to end, the pinch, the cove, the sourcing. You ran around Italy, drinking espresso all day. And everything's very thought out. It's not just stam.
When you're spending $300 on average, for a hat, you want it to be a good product, and you want to invest the money properly. I say it's better to spend $300 and have a good product from a good brand that's going to stand by their product, and you'll come in, you'll steam it, you'll fix it, and to buy some piece of junk on Amazon for $100.
When I feel really bad is when the person goes down, they find a hat for, let's say, at some random place, random brand or no branded, for $250. You're saving $30
more.
So I do have a goal, and I one thing I do every year is I go to Alatera 8th grade, Oteg, Yossi Brisky.
Yeah, sure.
So he has a Bacher day where all the kids get their glasses fixed, their tzitzis fixed, and they one of the things we do there is we steam every
You're the
Bacher's
only
hat.
hat guy that shows up.
I go there myself.
Anyone else? Any other competitions?
No.
So you go there and you steam all the hats?
I steam every single kid's
founder
hat.
of brands. You see this is you can't compare.
My hands are black for a week because I'm touching all these cheap hats, and I did notice that a lot of parents, when it comes to their first hat, they want to get the cheapest, and that is something I'm working on. I do want to have something really cheap for.
You do foldable or no?
The foldable, I could do it. I've tested it out. It never looks as a great hat.
I'll tell you why it's a waste of time, the foldable ones. I asked the guy
the same price as a real hat.
I asked a friend of mine to do a demo of his foldable one.
Yeah.
He's a multi-gazillionaire or whatever.
Yeah.
And he did a video for me, and he takes out this round tube. So
Yeah.
first of all, once you're already
tube is as big
schlepping
as
the
a travel
tube,
case.
you're
Yeah.
ready, whatever. Then he says, the guy told me to roll it all that way, and then roll it this way, and then
unroll
pull it
it.
this way, and tap it that way. And
There's
it's
a big
still,
warning on the tube
it
that
still
says,
looks
do not
like-
leave it in the tube overnight.
And it still looks horrible.
So it's for a quick travel.
You hear the
thing.
hand?
Yeah.
It still looks horrible. He tells me the guy said that if you want it to really look presentable before you go to the bar mitzvah for the wedding, then you should put a little steam and Hashem Yishmar, just put it into Chayo's traveling case and fire it. The foldable thing doesn't work.
It
You think
doesn't
if
work.
you saw a good foldable, you would sell it?
Huh?
If you actually
I tested
discover-
it out. You have to use decent material, and it's
It's Bubba
It's
Mice.
Bubba Mice. It's all these.
By
things.
the way, he told me he spent almost $500 on it.
Yeah,
he
it's
got it in Borough
expensive.
Park somewhere. It was almost $500.
All these things. You want a kapata you could work out in, a kapata you could go swimming in. Nobody's buying it for their wedding or for their kid's wedding. Nobody wants to look like the workout active wear in a kapata. End of the day, you go to quality. Quality. Well, can we make it? Yes, we can make it because you could choose anything. You choose stretchy material.
Could we do a promotion for the Clappy and Frank show if they come in? Maybe a discount on a case, a brush, or something.
I'll do it quick. I mean, just because I could. Yeah, I know.
Nothing
I
too
could.
much. I
don't want you to lose money.
$50.
Hold on, he wants to be a greer, so we don't want to prevent him from that.
$50.
$50 off any kapata, custom. Or
$50
Wow.
off a kapata
Yeah.
if you mention Clappy and Frank.
Clappy and Frank.
Until when?
for a
30
year.
days.
For a year.
A year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Till
We're not
Chavches.
becoming rich off selling anything in Crown
Till
Heights. You know what I mean? It's gonna take
Till
a while.
Chavches Adar next year. Times are tough. The economy's not great.
Yeah.
You want a crisp $50 bill? Go into Bellissimo. Get the gorgeous kapatas. Custom or off
Custom
the rack.
or off the rack.
$50
or suits,
off.
if you want to do a suit.
Or a suit.
Yeah.
$50.
$50 off your bill.
Cash.
Your,
$50 off.
nephew
Yeah.
bought a kabata
He
there.
bought there for his wedding. He said it was the best kapata he ever wore. He said it's the best one in town. He went to every single store. I know this guy.
By the
He
way,
went to
every
store.
customer that comes in, I go, "Did you go around yet?" And they go, "Yeah." And they try. They stop by every single place. Another thing, besides every customer asking us to get into kapatas,
I
the
feel so,
the
when
two
you
biggest
see
guys
a
are.
founder with passion and love, craft.
I'm thinking about all the hundreds of
second
families
to
that are
none.
saving $50.
You can never
With
get that
$50, you
experience.
can leave and now buy some shmurra matzah.
Right.
Tavi,
And by
promise
the
I-
way, I'm going to be there all day today. My sets. I went for a wedding somewhere in California.
Clap.
I'm there myself. So yesterday I was fitting a chassan for a kapata, selling 3 hats at a time, and my phone in my ear. I'm telling
The
him, "Yes,
problem
sir,
is,
your orders."
Tavi, I can't buy a hat anywhere else now because I just heard his whole
Hold on.
story.
I've been coming
He
to
got
Zion.
kicked
I've been
out of
coming to the
school 6
beginning.
times.
As he's been a regular
I
customer.
live 500 feet away from his store. I barely ever walk into there. Actually, one time I was at a wedding. I was a chuppah. My non-Bellissimo hat was messed up.
And we still
I
service it.
came in. They said there was the nicest people on the planet. The problem is that I can't shop anywhere else. I just heard his whole story.
I was never going anywhere else anyways.
I'm
brainwashed.
Bellissimo, hats, kapatas, suits.
I'm
Let me
brainwashed.
guess. Is a shirt coming or not?
We do custom shirts.
Custom shirt. How much is a custom
So
shirt?
look, I'm not. A lot of people ask me, "Oh, when are you going to turn to the next Atika?" Atika's a great store, and I
I
shop
don't-
there
what did
myself.
you-
Oh, they sponsor you guys once? Oh, sorry. I bought shirts there. It's a different market. Making bulk, anything you're doing
What's
bulk,
a custom shirt cost?
custom shirt, it's $125, and it's real custom. And we have books
One
and
fitting,
material.
probably, right?
Huh?
One fitting?
Yeah, we get it in one fitting. It's easy. It's
And it could be French cuff or button or anything.
All the options.
Anything for
You get
125.
your
You're good to
name
go.
on the stomach,
Logo,
on your
lapel,
cuff, wherever you want. First of all, you choose the
100% cotton.
I bought an
obviously.
expensive shirt a few months ago, and I was just like, I always feel like I can't spend the business money on myself. I made
Right.
one suit. Everyone's like, you got to make more suits. It's a great looking suit. Like even capata, I got the first capata, and then like I'm afraid to make myself a new one. But shirts, I spent $150 on a nice white shirt. I was like, I need one good white shirt, and I put it on, and it sits over my capata, over my suit. And like people don't realize that when you're getting a shirt, like the collar has to be a certain size. It has to be, every person's build is different. If you have a big shoulders, or you have no shoulders, you want a different collar. You want, the build is different. Also, let me tell you, one thing that really people love about getting custom by me, the difference between me and every other custom guy is every other custom guy knows how to make a skinny guy skinnier. They take the skinniest guy in Lubavitch and they make his thing tighter. They take Shmuley Lang and they make him even skinnier. I'm giving a shout out to Shmuley Lang. He's Mr. February of Hatzalah, in our Hatzalah
He showed up to a Hatzalah call of mine.
Yeah, people don't like him to show up at Hatzalah because he's too good looking.
No, he's great. He's great.
Sorry, inside jokes, But yeah, it's very easy to take a guy like him and make his suit even tighter on him and say, it's custom.
The question is how to take someone like
Take
me.
a guy like myself,
Like me.
Oishi, even bigger guys. I had some even bigger guys. The guys that are on Ozempic, and they went from 500 pounds to 350. You're still a hard built. If anything, you're even harder because you lost your shoulders, and you still the bike, and you have the tuchus or whatever. How to make a guy look skinny like that is real talent. And I went for a training, and by a great Italian tailor who uses the same factory as I do, and his suits start around $2,500. And he keeps on telling me, he's like, why are you dealing with this factory? There's cheaper ones out there. Also, the way the build is done, and he's like, go to cheaper. I said, we're not going cheaper. This is my brand. We stick to it. I don't need to make $1,000 off a customer. He's like, you don't understand. A customer for $1,000 takes the same amount of time a customer where you're making $200 profit. And I'm like, this is not what we do. And we bring things down to a system where we make it really simple. It's not hard, not multiple fittings, 2 fittings and you're done. And I went for a training.
So you come into the store to get a custom suit by you. It's 2 fittings.
It's you have something to try on. We have something like there's not a lot of guessing. I have a lot of fitting suits. Actually, my pants, for instance, don't have pockets in them. So if you try on a pair of pants, I could already have the breakdown of the pants of all the measurements, and I got trained in centimeters, which is harder than inches. The more we can get closer to the fit. And the tailors work in centimeters, so we can really get close to the perfect fit. So you're not guessing, especially if you feel like you're a hard person to fit. You put on a pair of pants that looks already half decent, and then I'm measuring off that, and I have it broken down to every part of your body. But the bigger guys are the ones that are really, really happy because they're always afraid to get custom. They don't want to spend $5,000 on a custom suit and then not look good in it and still look fat and still look what's it called. We know how to make you look skinnier. That's my big secret. I went to this tailor for a training, and after 2 weeks of fitting all his customers, he's like, you're a natural. I don't know how you have this. I said, look, a lot of his celebrities have to figure out their head size off pictures, off Google. And I'm ready, I guess I'm in this world and I have it, So he's like, the only thing is you got to stop dressing like a bum. So he's like, you have it, you have the business. And now the next guy we're looking to hire someone that's going to be full-time with suits and capatas. Right now I'm doing it. So anybody that comes in, we set an appointment. Or if I'm available, we do it right there on the spot. Right guy that's a tailor by trade or that has some experience that can fit people, help them with style designs. We're looking into a guy. We interviewed one guy that's a tailor. He actually came to me. He tells me he's a celebrity tailor. He makes one suit at a time. We're considering him. A non-Jewish guy. It is going to be a little difficult because I would like to have someone that speaks Hebrew. I just realized I missed an amazing story. 2 amazing stories. I don't know if we should get to it.
Say it.
Let's end with this, yeah.
So I'll tell you where we broke into the hat market. I don't know if you guys edit that much. You can put this back to the beginning or not.
No,
whatever. We really, one of the things where we broke into thousands of Lubavitch customers is the Kinnis HaShluchim 3 years ago.
Oh, I remember. There was shluchim from 24 hours a day, $100 a hat. The line went around the block 3 times.
We did the craziest thing. We call up our bank, and we recently started with Key Bank, and it's we went from Chase to Key Bank. It's a more personal bank, and they're into small businesses, and we show them our business, and they really like it. You see that we're growing year over year, and we tell them we need $500,000 line of credit, and we'll get it back in 30 days. Like, what do you mean you'll get it back in 30 days? Like, yeah, we have this convention. We show them pictures of the Kinnis HaShluchim. We have 5,000 rabbis coming to New York for hats. They literally come here and they do their shopping. By the way, that's the busiest we can do in 3 days of the Kinnis. You could sell more hats, more kapatas than you do an entire year. And I don't know if you realize, ever since we did this big thing, so 3 years ago, we had this idea, and it was a little last minute.
You told KeyBank you wanted a $500,000 line of credit, right?
But before we got there, before we went to KeyBank, we thought of this great idea. Let's give the shluchim hats for a price that they can't turn down.
You physically can't say no. You're giving it away.
Can't say no. You're giving it away. It's much less than the cost of the felt alone before it even makes it to the factory to become a hat. And let's give it at a price and let's get it sponsored. First, we were like, let's do it for free. We'll probably have a few hundred shluchim come to our door. You know what a few hundred shluchim are? It's a lot. A store that you do 20 sales a day, a few hundred's crazy.
Who sponsored it?
So we went around asking different people, and everyone's like, "That's a great idea. Good luck." You
told the sponsors for free, or you're going to charge $100?
We went around to people saying, "Can we get you as a sponsor?" Every single person turned us down. And then we decided that once we got turned down from every sponsor, we still have to do this. So we can't do for free. Let's say if we charge $99, so we cover a lot of the cost. Of the hat, and we're giving a $280 hat. It's an expensive hat.
So you're losing $50 each.
We're losing money on every single sale. But how many could it be? I went to Moshe Kolarsky. I went Olav Shalom, and
the great Moshe Kolarsky.
And he tells me it's a great idea. I'll support it. We put our logo on there. You guys want to do this? This is great. I'm like, how many people do you think will show up? He's like, 200 max. I'm like, that's it? I'm like, I don't think so. This is a free hat.
So he would sponsor it?
No. We decided we're gonna cover the cost ourselves.
It's gonna be.
So what was he gonna do?
I just need his bracha.
His bracha?
But how are we gonna reach all the shluchim? How are the shluchim gonna find out about it?
Okay,
flyers on Kingston Avenue.
No one reads the flyers on Kingston Avenue.
There's
a million
groups.
ads.
WhatsApp
There's a million ads. There's a million this. They have a shluchim email. We emailed all the shluchim, but we actually got a coupon in every single shliach's pass that they get, like when they check in at the kinnos.
Yeah.
So we got a coupon put into every single.
He had to agree to that.
He had to agree to that. And we wanted to have the
America's
we want the logo on our
it.
coupon, on our ad. Right. This is something we're doing for the shluchim. He tells me 200 shluchim are showing up. I'm like, and he didn't, he got a hat for himself first, and he really likes it. And, he's like, let's do it. It's amazing. This is a great hat. This feels better than my old hat.
So it'll just help you the marketing. No money.
Just help us marketing. No money. We realize no one's helping us, and we have to order the hats. It takes a couple months to produce,
That many hats. How many do you order?
So I remember saying that, I'm like, I think every shliach's going to take a hat. And he's like, I think so too, because the previous years, our biggest sale was always the kinnos. Like,
charging them full price.
Were the last people,
charging them full price.
Crown Heights was the last people to believe in our brand. Baruch Hashem, we love them, and they believe in it now, and we're selling the most hats on Kingston Avenue. But until then, it was just the shluchim, because they're practical. It's less. It feels good. It looks good. Let me buy your hat. And every year by the kinnos, we went to the resource fair, popped up in a table, and we sold tons of hats off a folding table. So a lot of them knew us from the years before, and they were proud about us, and they, we knew they would come back. So I said, look, Levi, let's get a big loan. Worst comes to worst, we have inventory for a year, 2 years, 3 years. It doesn't go bad. We put as long as we store it correctly.
The hat doesn't go bad.
It doesn't go bad as long as you store it correctly. It's not in humidity.
You have to pay storage fees and give money out.
We have money out, but we're gonna make the money back. We know how many hats we're selling.
Doesn't expire.
We'll make it back in a year or two.
Which is the good thing about non-perishable.
Exactly. That's one of the things why we're into hats and not in the food business anymore. But we're like worst comes to worst, we have what's called, and we even got like a $10 discount off each hat from the manufacturer. That was like the most they could do for us,
Big order.
We ordered 4,000 hats.
4,000 hats.
So we went to KeyBank and we convinced them. We tell them, listen, we're going to make back a lot of it over the weekend. Plus, hopefully, they'll buy more hats. Each shliach's going to bring their son. They'll buy another hat. We thought we'll make back. We knew we're not going to pay them back. But it's a lot of credit. We're paying interest on it. They approved us.
Wow.
So they gave us $500,000. And this is the biggest debt we've took on. And, till then it's the credit card. The credit card goes over. We pay it back. How it works. And we have containers full. And we fill up containers, and I go to Moshe Kolarsky the day before the kinnos because we printed out a poster. Obviously, we're two entrepreneurs. The night before, we make our poster. We take a picture with him. We post it on COL to let people know that about this, And besides each coupon, and I show him the pictures and the videos of me walking through these mountains of hats. And I built up just the cases. They come in 30 hats per box. I had a wall, 20 feet high of boxes of those. And I'm like,
it's frightening.
It's frightening. We have containers of hats coming to Kingston Avenue. First of all, the logistics are insane. I'm closing down Kingston Avenue, and they pull onto the corner. They literally drive into A-Shell's front doors, on the sidewalk, in order to back it up. Containers, yeah. They're dropping containers off for me. And I'm like, my brother's like, this is crazy. Yossi, only you like to do this kind of crap, I don't like this,
It's frightening.
It's frightening, yeah. And people are beeping at you. They drop off these containers, and I show him and he's like, check yourself into a mental home. You're crazy. You're going under. This is when you end. This is when you start, and this is when you end.
Key Bank wants interest. You're stuck
They're gonna come after the money in a couple months if you don't pay back something, you know. And we open up our doors. We hired Bachram to help us. We had me, my brother, and 2 employees. He just opened a shop in Montreal. He schlepped his employee from there, and we're lined up like an army, ready. My younger sister, we put her on the register. We gave her 2 iPads. She could type the fastest. We timed it. We put a time lapse. Over the weekend, in like 5 days.
From Thursday morning, Wednesday night?
I think Wednesday afternoon, 2 p.m.
People come early.
People come early, but Wednesday afternoon, that's when the check-in starts. 2 p.m., the line started. It didn't stop until 1 a.m. in the morning that night. We opened up the next day, 8 a.m., and we were working nonstop every minute.
So on Lucas Neres.
Yeah, 2 shluchim were walking out of the door with the hat. And we didn't skip any steps. They got the 6 options. People were shocked, first of all. Oh, they're giving us a crap hat for free, basically. Well, let me see what it is. But nobody felt they were beneath them to, what's it called? I think it was, remember the worst time we had.
You have to fit the guy.
We had every head shliach in there.
Wow.
And every guy's the head shliach, by the way. Everyone wants to skip the line, you know?
Actually, I'm a head shliach. Can I skip the line?
Huh? Listen, the only time I let someone skip the line was the guy can't stand, you know, a really old guy and his 90-year-old guy. Like, come on, you know, I would take out my office chair, roll him on the line, fit his hat, and then walk him out the door. But we had every minute 2 shluchim were walking out with a hat.
So what percent of the inventory do you sell?
We sold out every last
Whoa!
hat.
Sold out. There was not a hat.
People were taking hats that weren't their size by the end. The last 500 customers, some of them we
how much
felt
did you
bad
lose on the deal?
We gave them credit. I have every shliach counting my money on the line. Oh, you know the Jackie Mason show.
Yeah.
He's selling below cost. How is he making a profit? He got a lot of sales. Every guy's
So how much did you lose on it?
We lost a lot of money.
100,000?
We lost. When do you need to know by?
It was a donation.
Our accountant always calls me once a month. We sit down with him and he goes, "Wow, the money bedachah you and your brother have is insane." You know,
You're saying that thing.
We still owe Key Bank money today, if you want to know.
Wow.
They still bank with us because we do a lot of transactions. We're moving a lot of money, but it's like we still have that line of credit sitting a big part of it. But it's part of growth. But that set us on the map in the Lubavitch world. After that, a year later, first of all, Shulchan came back with their bar mitzvah kids. A year later, Shulchan were coming back. The hat's still great. Only now, it's 3 years later, like, my hat's still good, but I want to support you guys. I want to buy another hat. Most of the guys, and we really did it for one reason. The real reason was because I have Shulchan that come in, and everyone thinks Shulchan are all rich and they own real estate and everything like that. No, the majority of them aren't that. And we're a bunch of, you know, if you say that you're a bunch of self-anti-Semites, you know what I mean? Like, all Jews are rich. No, most Shulchan aren't rich and they can't afford it. These guys are wearing the same hat for 14 years since their wedding, and they have a bar mitzvah boy now, and they're buying him a new hat. He has 2 holes in his hat. And growing up without money in Kronites, you feel their pain, and we give away a lot of free hats. We work with all the meisters when it comes to
My friend tells
KCBK.
me,
We
I
do
wish-
all their hats. We do, you know, my Shira Bashkin has my cell phone number, sends me chasanim. We feel bad. We've been giving away lots of hats, and it's a big part of it. And we feel it, and it brings back our tzedakah. It pays already. It pays back. You know, so we did it for those shluchim, and the amount of
Are you
shluchim
going to be
that-
part of the new wedding package where they're going to have?
I'll be part of whatever package you want. Right now, I'm doing all the KCVK, you know, kapatas and hats.
Give us
and
much cheaper.
Give them for almost cost, and it's like, and they're very happy. We roll out the red carpet. Like, they came to us because of, you know, chassan has to feel like a chassan no matter where he goes, and he shouldn't know that he's coming with a coupon, and no one else in the store should know he's coming with a coupon. And if I don't have his size, I make him custom, and I don't care. It's if we lose money on a kapata. We know the pain of growing up without money. You know, I got a Hartstein's bulletproof kapata for my wedding, and I loved it. I didn't care, but it's a chassan has to feel like $1 million. I want his name in there. I do a customize. You flip the collar over. I'll write the chassan's name, the collar's name, and the anniversary date. Every customization. Places like to rip people off and charge you extra $50 for every letter you put in the kapata. I'll do every bell and whistle for free. Add it in. But that was one thing. The kinnos was the craziest thing for our Jewish business, and it's paying back. Did we make our money back? No, we did not make our money back from that. Everyone's like, oh, the best marketing scheme in the world. It's not the best marketing scheme if you lose money on it. You know, no matter how great it is.
What was the second? You said you had another crazy story.
Another crazy story is the closest thing we got to getting an investor in our business. So we went on a podcast with the founder of Netflix in California, and his podcast is called "It Will Never Work." And he spoke to us. He wanted to speak to us about our business. He sees all the celebrities that buy from us. He was told it would never work. Netflix was going to fail. It was going to close down. He rebuilt it, and he eventually sold it for the biggest exit. The biggest sale they've ever done was by this founder.
He's a multi-billionaire.
While we were sitting with him, I don't know his bank account, but while we were sitting with him, one of the things was like, first of all, we made him a custom hat with a picture of himself inside. He loved it. So he wore the hat the whole podcast. And the guy never put a hat in his life. We found that he's Jewish before that. And we ended off the podcast with putting on tefillin with him and dancing and making a bar mitzvah. This poor guy got hit up by 30 shluchim in California. He sent us an email. He goes, "We loved you guys, but I don't know what this harassment is going on." So we had to call a bunch of shluchim, and I think the kiddos was right after that. And we told all the shluchim, like, guys, leave him alone. You know what I mean? You see him, he ends up in your chabad. He's a guy that goes to a reform shul for Yom Kippur. You know what I mean? He put on tefillin for the first time in his life. All of a sudden, he's hit up by Chabad. We hear you're a Chabad supporter. He goes, "I never gave a dollar to Chabad." Now I think he's starting to get, but it's like, you gotta really slow down. So if you see someone puts on tefillin, take it easy, you're a shliach. But better than that was early morning. We woke up 5 a.m. to drive to the valley from my brother's house. That night, we were told, okay, you're going to meet Floyd Mayweather. And this is before ever you knew him because of October 7th.
Most famous boxer in the world history.
Biggest boxer, all-time champion, richest boxer. And he tells us, come to his house in Vegas.
He calls himself Cash Mayweather, no?
Yeah, Money Mayweather. Money Mayweather. And we come to his house, and we pull up, and security, like, at first we're stuck with it.
Security? He doesn't need security. He can
No, there's a big gate, and it's not... First of all...
Get near him, I'll kill
First of all, me and my brother, what do? We don't,
it's funny, they need security.
Yeah, we don't fly to Vegas. We jump in a rental car, and we're driving straight to Vegas 5 hours, And we pull up at his house. We made it there finally at night. And we come into his house. Hey, sit on the couch. We want to get to know you. And this is, 11 o'clock at night. We woke up at 5 a.m. to do this podcast in the morning in California.
Whoa, same day. Crazy.
Same day. It's 11 p.m.
Hard-working guy, Chayo.
And then my brother sits on the couch. I'm like, don't make yourself too comfortable. We're here for business. And my brother, first thing, I got a coffee. I'm like, it's 11 o'clock at night. We're going to meet for an hour. We're going to go to sleep. We need to drive back in the morning. He gets a espresso by him. And one of the funny things I realized is no females in the house. It's just guys.
He's not married?
He's not married. He's a player, but he's not married. It's just guys there. And it's just having a good time. They're playing dominoes and all these, games or whatever. And we start off, and he's talking to us and selling himself. I'm like, we came to sell our brand, and he didn't stop selling himself. Like, why we should love him, how he's a designer, how he designed his own home and all these fancy things he's designed. And he takes us to his garage. This is my garage. I'm like, whoa, there's like 30 cars here. Like, this is the black garage. I'm like, what do you mean the black garage? Only black colored garage. Then we have a green garage, and we're going through these cars, and these are all the top of the line cars. These Rolls Royces, Bentleys, every car you could think of.
Each car, 3, 4, 5, 600 grand.
Yeah, and we're like, okay, like, why is this guy selling us? And we're sitting. Then he starts, and we, our rule before you go on into a business meeting, you don't talk about religion, you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about, and he's like, boom, he's talking about politics. I'm like, what are we supposed to do?
Right wing or left wing?
Right wing. I'm like, okay, we're on your team, Then he's talking about religion, and he's, pro Eberster, and we're talking, he's very, and he's himself, but he believes in Hashem, and he talks about Jews, and he loves Israel, and we're shocked, because we go around to these other celebrities. We've been to golf courses, there's private clubs. And these guys hate Jews, especially after October 7th. We've been stood up by celebrities, literally invite us, and we make ourselves comfortable. We come there and we take over, make it look into a hat store, and we fly with 30 hats at a time. And, we've been stood up by some of these celebrities right after October 7th, and even wanted to mention something, free Palestine to us. But we're not in a spell, we're Yidden and we're doing our thing.
Keep
and
your chin held up high.
Yeah, we're better, we'll find someone better. And literally at this golf course, one of this comedian stood us up, and my brother was, that flight I didn't go on. I think it was after one of my kids. My brother went, my two brothers went, and they were so offended. They called me up. They're pissed off. They spent money on flights. We shipped all the hats. They bought the guy fancy cigars. And this guy stood us up because of October 7th. Like, screw him, whatever. Boom, they go on the golf course. Let's enjoy ourselves. We're on this guy's tab. You're invited on someone's tab. They buy cigars off the club. They buy drinks. They're racking up a $2,000 bill.
I'm saying the comedian invited them and
then stood him up, because one of the other actors that he was with was a real, guy that hates Israel.
So on the spot, he told them goodbye?
On the spot, they left. They left midday.
But you're still on the golf course.
We're still here. You're on the guy's. Yeah, it's hard to get in. You have to be someone's guest list, and everything you do there is being charged to the guy's tab.
Yeah.
And
so he was with you.
So they took out golf. They go on the course and they start knocking around the balls. So two alternates know how to play golf, whatever. And they bump into the Godfather. The last remaining, like this,
the last remaining lead actor from The Godfather.
Lead actor, and they start talking with him. He's like, "Oh, I love hats." We sent him a hat, and they got a picture with him. He got a shout out, and it ended up being way bigger than this guy that stood us up.
Wow!
And I told him, "You see, like, stay calm. You do this thing exactly." But back to the Floyd Mayweather story. So we're sitting there, and it's coming 2 a.m. Then he tells us, "Oh, we have hookahs." let's get hookahs. He calls the guy that owns a club and on the strip, hey, the owner of a club, stop what he's doing. We need hookahs here. And hookahs, okay, what's a big deal? Set up a hookah. Every bacher in yeshiva knows how to set up a hookah, from, especially you go to your initial.
Especially if you're in Jacksonville for your yeshiva.
No, in Torah Semas, what are you talking about, Jacksonville? I'm like, set up a hookah. I'm like, I know how to set up a hookah.
You were doing hookahs in our Torah B'Sifta also?
No. As I said, I was a good boy then. I didn't smoke and nothing wrong,
Yeah.
These days, God, whatever these kids do, I'm like, a hookah? I could set up a hookah. He was blown away. You know how to make hats and you know how to set up a hookah? He was about to pay thousands and thousands of dollars, which he's done in the past, for an owner of a club to send down a guy to set up a few hookahs. He sends this guy to the store. He spends like $500 in hookahs, things you could buy, these big fancy things. I set it up in 2 minutes, boom. We're having fun. Finally, he's shooting hoops with us. He takes us to his arcade room. He's shooting hoops. And I'm like, we're getting really tired. It's almost 5 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
And this guy is just about having fun. We didn't talk an ounce of business. Every time we tried mentioning business, he's like, we'll get to there. Finally, at 5:30 in the morning, he's like, let's sit on the couch and talk business. We're like, what? We were hoping for like an invite for another time. He goes, this is what he does. He really vets you. This guy, he worked out in between. He exercised. He played a video. He did everything. He has a bunch of friends over. And we He's like, now we're talking business? We sit down, we start talking to him about our business. We're so tired. We're like really trying to get words out. He's like, I love it. And he tried, he wanted to chop 10% of the business without any like agreements of what it was. And we really wanted him as a partner. He's the right guy. He has the right influence. He has the people. He has the money. But without a contract, telling me what the guy's going to do. Yes, you'll snap a picture and then you own 10% of my business. And you have the best lawyers. Like we didn't end up closing on a deal with him. But
what was the takeaway? What was the takeaway?
Takeaway was...
Did he buy a few hats?
He bought a bunch of hats.
Okay. So that's already
He bought a bunch of hats.
And you got pictures with him?
We got pictures, we got videos, we got shout-outs.
That's great.
Yeah, we got our money's worth from schlepping down
But you're saying it's interesting. A billionaire famous guy could take away 10% of your business, mamish, for doing nothing.
For doing nothing. And you really have to...
Matt Clappy, man, this guy takes T-brand for mamish.
You guys didn't put a label on there yet. You want to sell the brand.
Can't believe
It's a whole story for itself.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a cool story, and we're still growing. Right now, we have our next thing is we're going to be on a cover of a big celebrity magazine. They actually reached out to us. They wanted $9,000 to put our hat on the magazine. So the main cover is going to be a big rapper.
They wanted $9,000. What happened?
They wanted $9,000.
What did you tell them?
I told them I told them I need hats for Pesach. I can't put your $9,000. I need to buy my inventory for Pesach. We can't do this. And they're like, okay, no deal, it's fine. And my brother calls them back and said, listen, I know what you want. This guy needs a custom hat. We're about a month and a half away. No factory in the world can make you a custom hat. What this guy wants in this amount of time. Originally it was going to be closer, and then they pushed it off now until after Pesach. But this...
People still read magazines?
Yeah.
Okay.
The right guys. I think it's online.
I thought it was just Amri Mishpacha.
It's online. I'm sure it's mainly online, but the front cover magazine means something, And we told the guy there's no one else that could do this. If he wants the hats, we're your guys. And we're getting invited down. They want a picture of us fitting the guy. They want a picture of the ready-made hats. Us measuring him. So we're going to be featured in this magazine.
$9,000 hat.
It's not a Jewish magazine.
Not a Jewish magazine.
$9,000
This guy's
hat.
name's Rick Ross. He's one of the biggest rappers, guys on Instagram.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Again, like,
subscribe, smash it, forward it, everything. The best channel.
Yeah.
But it really means a lot that people. I like this that you're able to explain people that no matter what your upbringing is, no matter what your yeshiva, your school experience is, if you're ready to put in the real hours, travel the world, meet with investors, see what works, keep it growing until you ended up with like a Park Avenue gorgeous store and great online presence, you could do it. And I'm really excited about giving back to the community. You buy a suit or a kapata, you come and say Clappy Frank, it's $50 off. Cash. Right there, $50
he's the
off.
youngest guest on our show ever, Clappy, and the earliest we ever did it. I'm just saying.
Very exciting.
You think
Kevin,
we
Pesach is in 2 weeks. You got to stop by the store and get the
got
hats.
full stock. We're
Clappy,
ready.
can we do a bet, or do you think we got an alternate side ticket or not?
Alternate side ticket being in the studio now, 40 minutes past the 11 o'clock.
Yeah, are we gonna?
It's not like we're the gym. Over here, we're probably going to have a ticket.
Probably a ticket.
Yeah, probably going to have a ticket.
I got one this morning on Troy Avenue with all the Hatzalah
With the
plaques and
Hatzalah
everything.
plaques?
Didn't
And I
help.
got booted yesterday for I owed too much on tickets. So I have a little PTSD with the tickets.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you
All
so
right.
much for
Thank you
listening.
so much,
Thank you,
Yossi.
Clappy.
A lot of
That was awesome.
Kol
Thanks,
tov.
guys.